Welcome to Surf Dudes with Attitude. This is Pete from New York City.
Hello, and this is Zach. I just went to the eye doctor and my pupils are dilated.
And I'm the producer, George Howell from Hershey, Pennsylvania. Cool.
Wow. You look amazing, Zach. I fantasize about who you're going to dress up as each week, and I know you kind of hate that you started this and now you have to keep it going, but
I do.
Season finale of the inaugural season of California Dreams. You have knocked it out of the park. You've done some DIY aesthetic here.
Oh, you could say that.
You look amazing. I was hoping maybe you dress as Dennis finally for his last appearance on
I got nothing by Dennis, not anymore. I used to wear, like, he wears a lot of like short sleeve t-shirt hoodies.
Sure.
I used to have a lot of those. Yeah. But I've outgrown them emotionally.
George, you have a short sleeve shirt on. Can you show the camera what you're wearing?
I do. For those of you that are Patreon members, I am wearing...
George is showing off his pecs with the Surf Dudes with Attitude t-shirt.
This is very cool.
It comes in denim. I guess that's the color.
Denim.
It's a dark denim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a
You look great.
denim.
So George is dressed as Dennis on this episode.
Yeah.
So I feel silly, is what I'm saying. I feel a little underdressed, but if you can see me behind me, patrons, I'll take a photo of this for our Instagram. I have a shrine has grown, and we now have Dick Garrison and our main mom, Melody.
47.
We have the defendant on the right for her unlawful statutory relationship with the victim on the left. So I was able to find these two glossy headshots on eBay, and I scooped them up.
Is Gail still around?
I think Gail is still around. We found out last week that Michael Cudd is no longer with us. May he rest.
Yes. So we can't get his signature on that glossy, but we might be able to get hers.
I'm sure I could scribble on something with Sharpie and send it to one of our fans. So.
How different can it be?
I mean, they all look the same.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay.
Just do it left-handed. It won't look like you.
Can I just say, I can't believe we're here. I mean, I'm very glad we made this promise, and we're only a fifth of the way through, but this is a fifth of the way through. We're here. We're like gathering some steam. We're chugging along, and I'm having a great time. But we've together watched 13 episodes of this show, and we're about to talk about the last one. I don't know how you guys feel. I'm feeling a little bittersweet.
This is by far the most meaningful thing I've done in my life.
Yeah, top 3, no doubt.
I think George is being truthful here. This is more important than the birth of my child. So
I
don't
second that.
have children.
I also think this is the most important thing since the birth of your child.
Oh yeah, and I mean, speaking of lost children,
Hey,
where's Dennis?
where is he?
You guys just want to jump into this because I got a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
Okay.
we got a big old episode.
Yeah, this is not how I would have ended this season had I been a writer on California Dreams, but
Sure.
fuck. Here we are. Can you say let's do it so I can put in the little music cue there?
Let's do it.
All right.
Speaking of music cues, baby, this opening little jam right after the intro was pretty
Definitely
sweet.
different. Yeah.
It was nice.
And we're not starting at Sharky's. We're starting in the kitchen, which that was the pilot episode started in the kitchen as well.
Do you think this? Do you think these are close in our timeline?
Zach is putting two fingers together like it's two penises kissing.
Yeah,
they're slit kissing.
They're just kissing.
I think
they're
this
like
is
side eyeing, so they're kissing, but like they're not face to face quite. They're both looking at.
But you know what they are?
They want you to join in the third. Make it.
It's two penis cyclops kissing each other.
That's perfect. That's another good segue. Or
there it is.
This is all topical.
I was going to go more literary and say that this is like a bookend to the season.
I'm going to have to retract all that and say this is no longer the most important thing I've done in my life.
I understand how talking about genitals subtracts value, but whatever.
All right, we got an hour to get him back. I think we can do it.
I was wondering, Zach, for those of you who are just listening and not watching, Zach took off his sunglasses. I was wondering how long you were going to keep them on.
I can keep them the whole time.
I mean, I actually love the character that you're playing. I have a few theories about that character that we're going to get into later. Some deep conspiracy theories, too.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah. No, glasses on, glasses off. You see the reflection of everything. And you don't see the expression in my eyes.
I don't, but I think the duct tape on your hat really brings out the color of said eyes. So,
like, as in it replaces.
I'm surprised you have a ball cap, to be honest, because it just doesn't seem like you. But
I got
you look so young. When we talked last week about how to make you look younger,
I do look young.
That's it.
It's a ball cap.
If you didn't have headphones on, can you just do something for me? Take your headphones off for a second.
For you,
and
Peter.
Can you just like tilt your hat maybe 40 degrees to the left or right, and I want to see how many years it shaves off. Okay,
we're gonna see. This is
a visual audio podcast.
I won't be able to hear you anymore.
It's okay. We're just going to use hand signals. Okay,
great.
Okay. All right. So I will narrate. Right. Your hair is like extra shaggy today too. Can you like ruffle it up a little bit so it's not just in the back? Oh, he can't hear me. What am I saying?
I can kind of hear you. Actually,
okay. Can you put your hair a little more in your face with your cap on?
You want some down?
Yes.
You want like,
you are in danger of not being able to listen to this podcast because it's explicit. Okay, you look under 16 years old. I don't even think you're allowed to have a Spotify account. I don't know that. I didn't read all the terms and regs. So
I have a few caps. I have some Where's Waldo caps. I think I wore them early on in the podcast before I started dressing as characters.
Are you talking like a red and white striped beanie is what you have?
No, come now. It's a.
You said Where's Waldo?
I understand, but they are caps. They are caps with bills.
Okay. Famously not what Waldo wears.
No. It has Where's Waldo print all over it. Waldo exists on the cap, but so do a lot of other tiny little people. And you got to look for him, and he's somewhere on my head. And then I found another one, and it's him in space. Similar situation. You know the Where's Waldo books, yeah?
This face is not me not knowing who Waldo is. It's why you have plural amounts of hats dedicated to the character.
One was a gift, and then I gave another gift. I found that same gift for someone else who wanted that hat, but I wasn't going to give them mine. And then in searching for a sequel, I found the prequel. Waldo in space. Anyway, when I wear it, I frequently do it with the bill up, and it does shave several years off.
I think you look great.
My boss was talking to somebody else and referring to me, was like, hey, can you take this young man over there? It's like, I know for certain I am older than the person he was talking to.
Yeah.
But I had my little Where's Waldo cap on. And, I think I'm split. I'm right in that age where there's a part of me that's offended, and there's a part of me that's feels good.
That's gonna lopside so hard in the next couple of years for you.
For certain, but there's
beg for those moments.
Come on. I'm not hey, I'm in charge here. I'm a big guy. I know what I'm doing, and I do. But also, it's like, that's fun. People think I'm younger than I am. I'm 47. Same as Gail's age. I should have picked a sillier age. 47's not old enough to joke about.
No, but the age difference is, and that was a couple weeks ago. We found out drastic age difference, but I very distinctly remember a time I went into a casino and they just waved me through, and I was like, hey, at least check the ID, sir. Not cool. But I did have a story real quick about Where's Waldo. We used to play this thing called the Toy Fair at the Jacob Javits Center. We did it for like 7-8 years. Really cushy gig. Paid a lot. Had to play like 3 2-hour sets a day, but it was still like super nice. And I brought a date there, and I wanted her to hang. I had a Where's Waldo book basically that had a misprint where Waldo was not in it, and I was like, would you like to accompany me, because the Where's Waldo people are here, like whoever put out the books. And I was like, I'm going to demand an answer, basically. What? And she was like, no, I'm not into
Just no.
Just no. Man. So I had to go by myself. And I thought they'd be like rip-roaring it up and being like, oh my God, what a crazy misprint. And they're just like, yeah, that sometimes happens. And just the nonchalance. It's like having a magic eye that has, like, you could just stare at it forever and nothing happens.
Yeah.
So,
or a Ouija board that doesn't even summon a ghost. Come on.
This one's broken. This is a Luigi board. Okay.
Oh, that's what the problem was.
Oh man. So, yeah, kitchen. George found a YouTube comment that says, after 13 episodes, I've realized this family lives in the kitchen. And that's true, but in this episode, we got a fucking living room.
Right, and for the first time.
First and probably last time as well.
Maybe. You think so?
That's a big-ass living room, too. You had a 50-person party in that living room?
Yeah. Okay.
We got to talk. Yeah.
Exactly, because you're building a layout. You're drawing the layout.
Dude, trust. This is adding a whole nother room. I might have to upgrade this stupid app.
Yeah. I can't wait. But
I mean, it's hard to tell because I think they probably moved a lot of shit around to make room for the band. But it doesn't make sense. Like we said the other week, like this is like the House of Leaves house where it's just enormous inside and getting smaller on the outside. Like that was like a mansion. That was like one of those McMansion sized living rooms. But anyway, before we get to that, we're in the kitchen, starting like the pilot. Love the narration there. And Jenny starts off by saying that she has a date with Adam. And although he's very cute, he's overly punctual, type A, super anal. You ever dated somebody like that, Zach?
Someone who was very anal.
Are you that person, I should ask?
Am I the anal one in the relationship?
Do you like anal in the relationship? That's what I'm asking.
You know. If the time is right. If you give me enough notice, I'll do anything.
That's true. Eat your oatmeal or fiber.
That's right. Yeah, this whole plot, like side plot of like Adam being so obnoxiously punctual, I don't know. It's fine. I mean, we'll talk about it and we'll go through it. Adam had a pretty good outfit when he first came in, and when I first watched the episode and first started it, I was like, okay, noted, might do that. Mm-hmm. And then I saw Jake and I was like, no way I'm doing anything but Jake. I mean, come on. This is the only opportunity I'm going to be able to dress as Jake.
This is where I cue the old knight in Last Crusade and said, you have chosen wisely on this one.
Beautiful.
So our resident heterosexual cis man, George, has asked us a question, Zach. He's asking, is Adam cute?
Is Adam cute? I'm looking back at him, but I think yes.
I'd say so. Like he's
back through, which probably means I wasn't like. It means I was not like floored.
He's forgetful. Like, that's it. He's just forgetful. He's like a fit dude, and it's hard to tell because he leans into his personality up front because he's just supposed to be a dumb side character, and his whole thing is being on time and having to schedule everything. It's really silly, but
you know what? He has like a Ted Raimi look.
Okay, interesting.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I totally know who you mean.
Face.
Yes.
And I know, Ted Raimi has had that hairstyle for
a lot of people. A lot of people did.
A lot of his roles, he had that hairstyle, so that's part of it. But he's tall and slim. Yeah, I don't think he's not so cute. That is
slim with a tilted brim.
Yeah, that is what they say. That's what they say about Adam.
I did look him up because I was so sure that I saw him in something, and I'm pretty sure because he's only been in 8 things total. He had kind of a break. He was an extra. Maybe he had a line in a 90210 episode that I remember watching. So, but I think he probably just looked like every other 90s boy. So
yeah, I think he's somebody whose haircut can really, I'll get there.
You always do.
I think his looks. All of this will be cut out. All of my pauses. I'll sound.
But for the Patreon people, they get the full intact version of you.
They really do. Hello, Patreon. That's why you stay. His looks are dependent, I think, on his hairstyle.
Okay, and he's got the butt cut, so you're not gonna do much with that.
Yeah, he's not bad looking. He's not amazing looking. Get a handsome haircut, he's handsome. Get a messy haircut, he's kind of like meh.
He's got some masculine lips, I noticed.
Yeah, he does have
some muscular, beefy lips on this man.
He's got a well-defined chin.
That's
for sure.
So Jenny knows he's showing up, and she's real nervous because she's like, I gotta go. He's kind of driving her crazy with that shit. And at the same time, the parents are going away. And then they're going away on some symposium, a Middle Eastern symposium. Sorry. Since he's a professor, I guess, that we only bring this up 3 times the entire fucking season. He's going to a Middle Eastern history symposium. My God, I really thought they were going to, since this is the last time we're seeing him, I don't know who might have just jumped into this amazing podcast that we do called Surf Dudes with Attitude, that you can find at surfdudeswithattitude.com. This is their last appearance on the show. So I'm like, did they die? I think the writers at this point definitely probably knew that they weren't going to come back. So I was like, are they going to do something where they're like, like 90210 that I just talked about, they fuck their parents off after a certain point. They're like, oh, we're moving to China.
They don't come back. You're talking about Dick and Melody are done now.
Dick, Melody, and Dennis, Saint Denis, they are gone after this episode.
Wow.
I don't know.
We still got the twins.
We still got the house. We still got the maybe twins. We haven't decided yet. But dude, I'm so excited to start with the next season, and I watched the intro to the next season, and I just got to, you're not ready, Zach. Like, nothing can prepare you.
Intro?
I can't even put into words how the word different doesn't even begin to describe what you're about to witness. It's like they went 10 years in the past and they're like, you know what? I'm putting this lease down. I'm buying the cheese factory. The whole thing. So,
is it more radical?
I don't want to say anything. You just have to wait, and our people have to wait. I couldn't even get through the whole episode before blurting this out. But it's
how long do I have to wait? Are we going right in? No, we're doing a bunch of side quest stuff.
That's side quest. That's what we're calling.
Oh man,
I know. Well, we got to leave people wanting more. We got to build up some suspense.
You leaving me wanting more with suspense, not the people.
Speaking of suspense, I hate for the bad segue. The dad starts to tell a joke about the Middle East, and I was just bracing for impact.
Yeah.
It was. I don't say it aged that poorly. Like, it was just a really dumb pun.
No, I don't think it was. Yeah, it just was
it's whatever.
Bad joke.
I like that somebody stole it when he did finally go to the symposium, but messed it up. That's great. Oh yeah, if I can remember it, I think he said, "What is Saudi Arabia's favorite animal?" Is that right?
What is? Oh man, I can check, and we can pretend
no. No, that's not it. No, it's like, what is?
It's Saudi Arabia's favorite movie. Audio.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah,
I mean, it's better than my joke, but I had forgotten how poor this was.
Well, and it was an animal.
I think that's what this is. Totally dad joke.
What is Saudi Arabia's favorite movie? Camelot. Camel.
Get it?
You're right. Maybe he just didn't deliver it the same way, George. I'm sorry. George, every time you come on screen, I want to do the Jack Nicholson Joker thing and just like wipe my hand away as he's talking. Oh God! So why are they giving the Garrisons a backstory now? Like, you're supposed to do the fadeaway. If you're going to get rid of a character, don't give them a swan song if you're not going to like kill them off or something. Don't you? Yeah. Do you agree?
I do agree. Yeah. I mean, we had that big episode with Jenny, and there were people in the YouTube comments, idiots, who were talking about how, sorry, they were like, oh, I think it's like she knew that it was her last, and everybody knew that it was her last. And I feel like they don't do that for shows, right? Like you're saying, they don't give like if they're going to write somebody out of a story, why do they give the audience a whole bunch of reasons to like that character more?
Okay, well, only really when they kill them off. Because there's definitely you've seen it. It's
so
like it's a big trend. It's like dead. Why are they focusing so much on this like side character and making them do very heroic things? And it's like, like they're getting got by the end of the episode, you know?
Yeah.
So I honestly, the show's for children. It's like it's a comedy, dramedy, whatever. They're not going to kill them. You know. I don't remember where the symposium is, but I don't know if they're on a plane. They're not going to kill them in a plane crash. Right. They had to go to Saudi. They got killed in Saudi Arabia for mocking the country, I think, with that joke. Yeah. So that is probably what happened.
Do you get it? Did you get it before?
I get it now. Now that George came on and mansplained it so well, I do appreciate it. At first, they say... since they're leaving for, I guess, the weekend, right? And this has to be driving distance then. That's what I'm going with. They said the grandma Garrison is going to come take care of all the kids. Zach, whose mom is this? Okay. Is this Dick or Gail's? Is this Dick or Melody's mom, you think?
I think...
Because they're shit-talking her like crazy.
They really Agists. Are. And whose side of the family can they shit talk more? Who do they take less seriously? Dad?
Well, Dad, he's so young that the mom is basically the same age as Gail. So maybe she doesn't like her, you know?
Oh, that could be it too. Yeah. That makes sense because they went to college together. Also, it is one of my favorite things that was told is when they're talking about grandma, like she's going to come watch you guys over the weekend, and all of the kids are like, no, she's the worst, she's so boring and weird. They're like, yeah, Dennis is like, she brought me a glass of water in the middle of the night, and they're like, what's wrong with that? He's like, it had a tooth in it.
No, all her teeth in it. It was
just said a tooth.
No, it was her teeth were in it, like, because she takes her teeth out to sleep.
I thought he said tooth.
Is that less funny to you? That it's the whole shebang and not just like a tooth.
Okay, I'm gonna check this right now.
That you're gonna check? Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to hear that joke? Can you hear it? Can you hear what's going on right now?
Yes. You might have to skip a little ahead. These poor people don't want to listen to this.
I'm sorry. All right, fine.
No. We need to know now. We need to know. Okay. I'm being challenged.
Okay, we're good.
It's only about that.
It had teeth in it.
All right. All right, I can admit it when I was wrong.
It's okay.
It's still funny, and it still made me laugh.
I was really excited to see an old person on this show. It's like this show doesn't have old people. We've never even seen an old person extra, right?
Even the adults are fake old.
Exactly. Melody is ancient in this show's timeline. So, anyway, I am going to mourn Dick and Melody not being on the show anymore. Like, there is a small part of me that is like going to miss them because like this show was supposed to be a family show and all that. Whatever. I have zero. I am filled with glee. Filled with zero remorse that Dennis is not going to be here.
Okay. Is there any younger brother substitute that comes in?
I don't think so. I am very curious to see how they're going to continue to live at the house and just not have them around, you know? So,
I'm curious, even more so.
I bet you are. I only vaguely remember.
Yeah, you're going to have a little, oh yeah, that's right. I'm going to be like, what?
What? I'm glad I got to prepare you a little. That's probably the biggest shakeup. We slowly get new characters, but this is huge. They're taking them out back and Old Yellering, all of them after this episode. So
bananas. Yeah, well, you sent me that one clip of further down the line, and it shows some school and also a lot less colorful clothing. I mean,
that's true, but it's mid-90s, so it should be.
Does the show just get really
You can't see Zach took off his glasses to show me his sad fucking basset hound eyes right now, where he's like, please tell me they don't just go all monotone. He wants to see big block, bright colors.
All in beige. Like even fucking our guy. Your favorite guy, Sly. Your favorite man.
My favorite man. My role model.
Like beige in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's wearing like a beige sweater.
I'm trying very hard not to show Zach any spoilers for the future, but there was one that was just too good, and I wanted to get him excited for an episode in the third season where Kelly Packard goes on steroids.
Everything about that episode is exciting
to study
for the fashion.
Yeah, so I've been trying really hard not to show Zach any spoilers, but there is an episode in the third season I showed him a clip of where Kelly Packard goes on steroids because she's got a surfing competition. She has something physical.
Was it volleyball? It's another
volleyball.
Sport.
It is volleyball.
I don't know. I've gotten a lot wrong.
It's okay.
I could be wrong about this too.
You got to shoot your shot, and that's okay.
She put her tooth in it, man. She put her one.
You're not wrong. A tooth was in it, but it was her multiple teeth, and it was probably some fake teeth. Okay.
How many of the teeth were funny though? Only one of them made me laugh.
It was her dead tooth.
It was her dead tooth. It gets me every time.
We're gonna go to Sharky's, and I have a question for you. Zach.
They're not taking Grandma because Matt's
great
like,
question.
No, I'm gonna.
You're
watch.
right. But
I'm gonna watch these kids. Don't worry. Put me in charge.
So that's my question is to you that I want to throw at you. Is he saying that because he doesn't want to hang out with Grandma, or is he like, come on, I'm old enough, I have the responsibility? This is before they get the gig, because if they had the fucking Grandma there, none of this would have happened, you know?
Yeah, and he wouldn't have wanted none of that to happen, except for some of it. But I think he was there. I think he wanted to be in charge. He didn't want grandma there. He was not excited about her being there. I think he was like, we're fine. Like, look, I'm old. I drive around sometimes. I've been to movies before. I watched an R-rated movie. It was on TV, so it was like the TV edited version. But I kissed at least 3 girls in this season. I can at least watch over my little brat brother.
Yeah, he's a brat. Good riddance, Dennis. So that's true. No grandma. They're going to take care of Dennis. Do they have what it takes to be responsible? We're going to find out. But first.
Ooh, and the parents are like, okay, we trust you, but don't stay up too late. And also, no parties.
Did they say no parties? I just thought it was assumed. Okay.
Don't you worry. I do know that part's true. Don't check it. They said don't have parties and don't invite that really cool guy, Jake. Not because we don't want him at our house, but because we don't want to miss him at our house.
No. Sorry. I wasn't prepared for the love affair. Now we're at Sharkies. So my question, because the arcade has been in the background shots a couple times. Yeah. Is that replacing the stage? Every time that they're not having a stage, do they put the arcade in? I want to say yes, but camera trickery, I don't know. There's definitely not a stage when you see the arcade.
I don't think so. And I know George is going to pop in here on our chat and say definitively one or the other.
He's not going to go back and watch this. There's nobody that likes this show more than George, that we've made him watch this. 13 episodes in. He's not going to do it.
He's going to know. He's going to say it. He's going to know.
He asked what is the question. So I'm going to say no.
Awesome. No, okay. It is not there. No, it is. Oh, shit.
I think they take the stage out each time. Yeah.
That is where the stage is. You're right.
That's what I said a couple episodes ago. Yeah.
Oh, you're so smart.
I put that on one of the videos that I've been putting out on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. Please like and subscribe to all that shit. And
comment.
And I was like, God damn it, because like right behind Tony is normal, because we were talking about why is Matt practicing at Sharkies? Why is he writing this fucking song? And then in that scene, it pans over to Tony, who's at a table macking on a girl, and behind him is arcades. The stage is no longer there, so they got to build fucking risers every time that California Dreamers play at Sharkies. And I always thought the arcade was just the background. I didn't know we'd have like a pivotal fucking part being played in the season finale.
And we certainly do, don't we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, look, there's 3 arcade machines. Cyclops is the only one that you can really like read properly. None of them are on. Cyclops pretends to be on, but none of the other ones are on. So it's like, come on.
Sounds.
I worked at a stupid arcade bar, you know. What? You know that? I worked for 4 years at Barcade, and it was one of the worst bar jobs I ever had. But those sounds are like burned in my memory. We had to do game testing every day. It sucked.
Oh, so you don't like arcades?
It's not. I love video games. Okay, I grew up on old school video games. I don't love them the way other people, the regulars that would come into Barcade to play. I don't love them that much because sometimes they like wouldn't even get anything to drink and they would just play for hours, you know. And then it's like 4 a.m. and I want to go home and they're like, I'm on my game, you know. And I'm like,
on one. It's a game. Is it Cyclops? Is it Mr. Cyclops?
Is
it Miss Cyclops?
It's not like Pac-Man. It's Mr. Cyclops. Okay.
It is Mr.
My mistake.
Cyclops.
So yeah, so this is the manstress of Miss Pac-Man, maybe.
Yes.
So Dennis is here and he's explaining to Matt how to play, and somebody's playing it. I guess you beat a level when you poke Cyclops' eye. And then the guy beat the level and he just walked away. And I was like, come on. You go to the next level. You didn't beat the game.
Yeah, that guy's never played a game before. That was bad acting.
That was, you know what? Get out of here.
You know what? I think
bring in Jake.
Acting, but like prepare for your role. You know what I mean? Like, have you ever been to an arcade?
You need to do a ride along with the police department to prepare for any role, no matter what the role is. That's what I've learned.
Yeah. I've seen it. I saw it.
So Sly comes in, says "Ba boom" for the second time this season, which will become his catchphrase. Zach, keep up. And he said he got a show at Jake Delmonico, I think was his name, a floating gig. And I legit, for the next 4 minutes, thought they were going to play on a boat until the joke came later that it is not a boat gig. It's a floating gig because it's at a different location every single time. So
is that very cool?
Excited. Is that very cool? Have you played one of these floating party gigs?
I'm asking you first, Pete.
Oh, okay. Well,
is that very cool? Like, do you think?
I think it is.
It's the concept
yes,
and the
it's
idea
definitely
cool
because it's exclusive. It's some of those ones that you only get the address the day of because technically they're not legal because they don't have permits and shit like that. But we've played a couple of these underground parties and they vary. Some really had their shit together, and other times you're like, oh, this is why you didn't send out the address because this is a complete shit show and nobody should really show up. So yeah, but I was hoping it was going to be a barge on the ocean with seagulls flying at them, but there's no. It's the last fucking episode of the season, Zach. I wanted to see an outside shot, for fuck's sake.
We get a bigger inside shot that we've never seen before.
It's true.
Something new.
What if it's just Sharkies and they just made it look like a living room?
Oh.
Later in the episode, I'm going to need you to pinpoint some stuff, and I have a question. If you notice something, and if you did, you win everything. Okay,
I do.
But yep.
You make me the win boy?
I'll make you the winningest boy. So in classic Sly fashion, when is the gig, Zach?
When is it?
Yeah, when's the gig?
It's perfect timing. It's tomorrow. Yeah.
No conversation about whether they're all available. They are. And,
they are. They're kids. Only one of them works.
And currently at the place.
They're currently there.
So are we assuming today is Friday and the gig is Saturday? So maybe their parents are supposed to get back Sunday.
Yes.
Oh. So if you were ordering this episode based on what we've seen so far, Zach, where would you put it? Answer 1 through 13. I dare you.
You know what? I would put this somewhere around. I think probably somewhere around 6, right around the middle. And partly because there's a comment that is made about Sly. Because he comes in and he says, hey, I have great news. And they're like, you got a date? As though he never would get a date. Uh-huh. And he dates 2 of the California Dreams throughout this season.
Yes, he's quite prolific.
I feel like that is not something he would let ever go, especially if given that kind of a slam. Okay. Of like, is it a date? It'd be like, well, I dated you, didn't I? Like, he would always have that comeback. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, you can't ever unsee someone's butthole. You know what I mean? It's just like that kind of like, I always have this on you. It's not a 1-to-1. I don't think this ever happened between them because nothing went beyond a smoocheroo. But I'm using that as like an example for your personal life.
Sure.
That you can be like, you know, no matter how mad somebody is, you know, at me, they can't.
They're never more than. They're never farther away than a butthole's glance. Is what you're saying.
Exactly. Exactly. So I think this is before he dated either Tiffany or Jenny.
Okay. Yeah. We're really hoping one of our listeners is writing these notes down and will give us a proper timeline for future generations to watch this show properly. So it'll all make sense. So
Teamwork
maybe
make the California dream work.
Ooh, all right. There it is. So maybe the harsh exit of Dick and Melody Garrison won't hurt as much. You know, maybe we could do the proper fade away, or maybe
because I don't think this is the end for them. The line.
It should also be mentioned that this is the shortest season of the 5. So although we say we're 1/5 of the way through after this episode, we're not really. It's like 13.
You got really excited.
18,
I know you've been
17, 15, and 15. So we got 70.
Like if you guys, not everyone can see, but those of you who are watching this and
my peepers,
the glint in Pizza Hut, knowing that
they just widened up like 2 buttholes, and they're really excited.
I can't unsee them, nor would I want to unsee them.
No. So we're gonna jump to the kitchen. The first kitchen scene.
We're in the
back
kitchen.
To the kitchen.
Don't you worry.
So,
well, no, they said they can't do the gig because they got to watch Dennis.
Oh, right. They're leaving and they're reminded like, oh, shit, Dennis. But then
we can't play it because it's in Malibu. So they're going to have to drive. So they can't get to this secret floating party because it's a little too far away. And they got to watch Dennis. And,
again,
now we're in the kitchen.
Great job on Sly. A couple scenes later, that he's able to get him to move locations to this whole party. That is bonks. Although they might not have sent out the invitations, they probably at least have had some discussion. And about the people. Yeah, how far is Malibu from LA, George? Can you figure that out? How long were they supposed to be driving? Because all the other episodes that we've watched, it's always been like within a 2-hour window. So we're gonna wait to figure that out. Yes, we're going to go to the kitchen. I don't know if you noticed this, what they were eating for dinner. I think, was this foreshadowing that Matt is not responsible? Because what did they have for dinner? They had pizza, cake, and fucking French fries. Did you see that?
That's a great dinner. Don't you think that's a great dinner? Look, it's not a balanced diet, but for a Friday night,
I think they were, but I definitely were like, Matt cannot handle this. He thinks it's easy.
Yeah.
Okay. And just an update for Carmen Sandiego or the Where's Waldo people in the house.
Ooh.
From Malibu to LA is only 30 miles. Fuck.
So I think it's far. Just that is not far at all. I think it's just the idea that they are going to have to be gone. It's at night. Okay. Oh, there's a lot of traffic, so 30 miles might take 17 hours.
That's at least like 60, 70 minutes in LA time. I don't know. I've only been there like once.
Sure. So you know more about New York minutes. Yeah, well, and it's a whole it's a whole night. They got to play the gig. They got to stick around for the other bands.
Bullshit, other bands. They're always headlining. There's no other bands.
Well, you're right. This is a party, and they're the only band playing this night. That is correct. Yeah. But they're probably going to want to hang out. So it's like an hour on either side of that, plus like at least a couple hours of party. So that's 4 hours for Dennis.
And we're assuming they still have their band van, right? Right.
I
haven't heard anything about it.
Right. Okay. Actually, that's helping.
We heard that Tony drives in this. We haven't ever heard of him talking about driving. So I'm just trying to get the whole picture.
Over the keys during the van episode.
So this is definitely after the van episode. Timeline.
After the van episode.
Did you notice?
Think about it.
Did you notice the cool phone flip that Matt did? I think I definitely saw this episode as a child and tried to mimic that on a landline just by flipping it up and catching it. I don't know if you noticed that. I don't think anybody else noticed that. What a sad podcast existence I'm living that I wrote that down.
Thank you. George noticed.
George noticed. Somehow
and
George doesn't make me feel better.
I'm sure other people noticed. Actually, I'm let down by my own self that I didn't notice because of the physical elements of
first the teeth thing. I really thought you would have liked that because it was physical. There's another part that will jog my memory soon about a gag that I'm hoping
I don't catch it, you're gonna fire me.
This is your Dick and Melody moment. I'm sorry. We're bringing George's HR. He's gonna witness the firing. So anyway, Sly comes in and says, I got him to switch the location of the party and we're having a fucking house party, like House Party 1 and House Party 2.
Love it.
I was like, fuck yeah, house party. This looked like the most tame fucking house party, by the way, later.
Where are they going to have the house party, though?
Well, they're going to have it in the fucking living room.
At the Garrison's house?
At the Garrison house. We've never seen the living room.
Dick and Melody said no parties.
That's true, but Dick and Millicent aren't there. Dick and Melody Garrison are not there. They're telling Camelot jokes. Maybe in Saudi Arabia.
Yep.
Fuck that up. We're going to keep going. Whatever. Speaking of lovely outfits that you're worried will not make it here, Zach, Tony's outfit is amazing.
It is great.
It is his bright green / blue outfit with like a cool bucket hat. Oh,
yeah. Matches.
So good.
Yeah. I probably won't surprise you that I have the least amount of clothes that resemble Tony's, and it's a shame because he's got really great clothes. I don't know if that would surprise you.
But if you were born like 13 years earlier, do you know how many cool ass clothes you would own on top of the cool stuff that you own now? But like,
yeah,
man, just you'd have MC Hammer pants like at the ready, no matter what occasion it was.
You're right.
I mean, it's never too late, right? but just shit. Like you grew up, you were 10 years old when nu metal was big. So I think you missed that boat, unfortunately.
No, I was not MC Hammer pants. It was trip pants. I had a lot of those.
Did you have parachute pants with the straps?
I had parachute, strappy, jangly, Jacob Marley pants. Yes, I did.
As a Janko owner, I can't mock you for that, but I thought literally wearing like 40-inch around the leg pants, I was like, those parachute pants look dumb.
You were wearing Jenkos, and you were
yes.
bitter.
But I kept
I couldn't do it. The Jenkos were slightly before my time.
Yeah, for sure.
And so it was, I never got into those. And those would have been a little too baggy for me.
Oh, I mean,
because I couldn't scamp around and climb trees.
Big tree climber you were. As a homeschooled child, yes.
There wasn't much else to do.
No, I was always insistent that my Jenkos served a purpose. I was like, no, they need to be this big because I have to put my boneless pads underneath them when I'm out inline aggressively skating.
Of course.
Nobody bought that. I just thought it looked cool. I was told that they're also there so you can steal stuff. And I was like, that's not me either. I'm too scared to get caught. You could steal
entire people with those pants.
That's true.
You know?
Maybe that's where Dennis was. He got caught up in a Janko pant.
Oh, that's what happened.
I like that I singularized Janko and pant at the same time. Okay.
Janko pant. And they are back. They are back.
Well, I heard they came back, and then the company who put out a lot of money to bring them back got bankrupt in about 6 months. So,
Janko?
Yes.
Those are brief. Trip Ants.
John Janko
Trip is still a brand that is around, and the kids are wearing them, like the children, the high school kids, and some college kids. I've seen it.
Thanks for listening to our podcast, Panting About Pants. We're gonna get back to Surf Dudes in a second. So, Zach, what's the password? Tell me what the password is.
The password. Put sunglasses on. This is for the listeners.
Okay.
Leans hat down.
Yes.
Points.
What did that hat say before you put duct tape on it?
There is no duct tape on my hat. This is the way the hat is supposed to look. This hat has always been this way. This hat is authentic. This is an authentic J-Cat. I did not put an X across what was previously anything else. Not even FX.
My mistake. So once you enter this party with that hat, can you tell me who the people are that have actually showed up to this party?
A lot of cool people. At
no point were they like, Zach's gone full Daniel Day-Lewis right now, and he is doing the J character before the J character enters the scene.
Do you think this looks cool?
I think it looks cool. I can see your ring light. I can see your.
I'm kind of using it in the reflection of my glasses. It it is very cool.
There is some wicked white people dancing at this party. First, there's just music before the dreams take the stage. Jenny is waiting for Adam to show up, and she's she's pissed and she's annoyed. And she tells Tiffany that she can't take it anymore, and Tiff weirdly recommends that she dump some juice on him. I guess juice they don't have. I like that this Jake guy, the coolest floating party dude, is going to put on a party for 16-year-olds and not have any alcohol on premises.
Yeah. I like that too, because he does seem older than high school. This guy seems like a college guy.
Know his audience. Okay,
and
so
he's like, I'm not going to take the fall for these nerds. All right, I'm going to make this party. I'm going to drink.
This is an all-age show.
But nobody else can drink. No booze.
Okay.
Drive safe.
Listen. Oh, okay. When Matt says at the end, everyone drive safe. It's the most Matt thing I've ever heard at the end of the night.
It's so wholesome.
So my theory is here. This guy's name is Jake.
Yeah.
And as anybody knows who watches this show, they're like, Jake? So when that Jake character comes in, I was like, because he had glasses on, I couldn't tell. They kind of have a similar build. I thought this might have been the first appearance of Jake, the new guitarist in California Dreams, because the second season, when he wants to join the band, they're very surprised. And I was like, is this character? I don't know who I'm going to talk to other than actual Jake about this. I think that they were introducing his character to come into the next season, and they got a different actor to play the part. I genuinely think that, because shows like this do not double up names, especially in that short of timeline. I genuinely think, because he did have that same cool character. I think they retooled his character for the second season, but I do genuinely believe that the writers wrote him in to kind of tease the audience that a new member was coming, because at that point they definitely knew that Jenny was leaving and they'd have some kind of gap to fill. That's what I'm saying. I'm sticking to that. I don't know if any of our listeners want to chime in. Maybe they know. surfdudeswithattitude@gmail.com. Would love an opinion on this, but I just think it's too coincidental in a show that is historically very lazy with its writing. That's all.
Yeah.
So he's a Jake. Maybe Jake. Not the Jake.
But maybe the Jake. I haven't met the Jake yet, so I really would. I'm excited to revisit this conversation when we
a couple weeks.
In a couple weeks.
And
a couple of short weeks.
I don't want to spoil anything, but we have been talking to a couple members of the actual cast of California Dreams about coming on the show. Some are interested, and I will say some are not happy about our podcast. So
really?
So we're gonna
wait. Really?
Yeah, really.
Can we talk about that?
No, not yet, because I got to see if we can change their mind, and we can, just hold off. Don't ask me about it later either. I got a whole thing cooking. We want to just kill them with kindness. Basically.
Wow, that's amazing. Is it because we're ragging on it too? Some?
I think they specifically were like, Zach didn't get the teeth joke. Like, why would I even bother coming on?
Okay, cut it out. You can cut that out. You can cut that joke out. You can cut out that I didn't know it. We can get them back.
No, I think we can. The thing is, I don't know. I wasn't even going to bring this up, but it's come to my attention that some of them are not super stoked, or they're a little hesitant, because as we've seen through all the YouTube comments on this show, as I've seen in person at the show, which I will talk about for the season wrap episode that we're going to do, complete with video. People love this band, and they're very protective of this entire show and all the people that are on it. So just because we're talking about some of the dated qualities of the show and kind of poking a little fun at it, we're not just mindlessly clowning on it. We're learning these songs, like we're talking about them in detail.
Yeah, we're just like, hey, that thing that Sly said was really predatory. don't talk to people like that.
Yeah, but we're also like, we know it's a different time, and we're not trying to be keyboard warriors. We're mentioning it because it needs to be mentioned, and then we're moving along, and we're seeing like this show has charm. Like it didn't mean anything by some of the more egregious things that have happened. So, Dad's on.
I do want to jump in on this because this is something that we do pay a great amount of detail to, and what you're talking about is called presentism, where you're judging things in the past based on our present values, and it's necessary to address that the world has changed. Like things back then were acceptable that are absolutely in no way acceptable now. It doesn't mean that it was okay that happened back then. It's just the general opinion has changed, and the way that, in particular, that you're talking about Sly talking, some of that stuff is pretty gross. But I think we all, especially the two of you, do a good job balancing where that line is.
I think so. I appreciate that.
Thank you. I think so too. And also, this was a show for kids 30 years ago that, like, I don't know. I think I also, and this could be just my humor, but I rag on the things that I love most as well. And so, like, it's love. Like most of the things I love are stupid, and like everything's art is ridiculous. It's all made up. It's funny that we get to make stuff up and since, show people.
Since we are talking about this now, I did want to bring up during this episode that I think all of us have done a really good job being respectful to all the people involved in this show. The only people we really rag on are the lazy writers.
Yeah, and they won't even remember that they wrote for this show. Right. I guarantee nobody has a shrine to California Dreams that have written on the show. I do. I've put in more time to this show than I think a lot of the writers did, and I just want that to be on record. That's all.
Yeah. Well, and even I don't know if we've talked about bad performance. So much of that is the style of the time too, like talking about the time. It's the, like, acting has a style. Sitcoms had a style of acting. Like, everyone is acting not like real humans, but they were acting like everybody else in sitcoms during that time. Nobody was like supposed to be a convincing human in these shows. They're like a caricature of teenagers. So,
I love that.
Like,
I love that you were saying that dressed as Jake, the most real character on this episode.
I did want to bring up, like, I do remember one episode where I was talking about how, like, I had the shits of Matt's character because they made him have, like, the worst attitude, and it was just bringing the whole show down. And that's not me saying that I've had the shits of Brentley Gore. He's like my favorite character so far. It's just that all the bad writing made that the emphasis of the episode. So.
Well, and that's a good point, because like it happened in this episode too, where he's like, it's in this next scene before the dreams go on. He's like making fun of Dennis, basically, like, "Oh, I gotta put you to bed, you little boy, you little bitch boy." Like he basically says that, and it's so out of character for him because Brentley Gore played this character so kind and so congenial that you're like, this is weird. This is out of character. He is supposed to be playing a 16-year-old that's fallible and might just have bad days or something. But I think at worst, he's just like the sad dude that writes "Nobody Wants Me. I'm going to write a song about it." But like him just being like a pesky dick to his brother, that didn't make sense.
So I just wanted to bring that up. That we do poke fun, but the only issue that we've really crossed with has been the writing.
I don't know. And Dennis, I hate his character. I hate the actor.
You do not hate the actor. You hate the fact that Dennis was written at all.
Nope. Hope he burns in hell. All right, let's keep going. Can we talk about? Okay, so Adam finally gets there, and they're like, I love the line where they're like, well, I can't pour a drink on him because he's probably the type of person that has a spare shirt in his car. Is that weird? I have a spare shirt in my car.
Yeah, I have like
you have a whole wardrobe, I
bag.
bet.
Like everywhere I go, I usually keep a little bag with like, this is if I'm,
You have a bug out bag. You know, the bag that preppers use in case shit hits
I got
the
a little
fan.
bug out bag. Exactly. That for if I go to a party, because I don't know what's going to happen at those parties.
Sure. Hopefully you don't come home that night. Yeah.
Sometimes some floss.
You were just hoping to get lucky at a party, and I'm like, I might need to floss before this goes down. Before somebody sees my butthole.
Exactly. And they'll never forget it.
No, they'll forget it. So Adam does show up. Jenny tries this, spills a drink on him, and he's like, don't worry, I got a shirt in the car. And that just sends her over the edge. And she's like, just get the fuck out of my sight.
Did you notice
piece of shit
how weird the shirt was when she poured the punch on it?
It was like they forgot to put food coloring in the water.
It just rolled off. It didn't even look wet. It just
he's got the thing on windshield. It's like the Rain-X
thing. That was going to be the joke, that it was just like, don't worry, I have a non-stained shirt on, because you couldn't see it, but he's acting like it's wet. Like he's like, oh,
he comes in later with the same shirt, and I could barely tell it had a stain on it.
Yeah. That was terrible.
Harsh words for Zach. Now the wardrobe person that I've been contacting doesn't want to come on this show anymore.
Look, that's a shame, because I think the wardrobe, I have been very complimentary of this entire time.
You have been cosplaying as this show's wardrobe.
The problem is a missed joke, but that he could have. But I know what it was doing is like, I got a spare shirt, because it was confirming what they had predicted, that he probably has a spare shirt.
Also, like somebody on time. That sounds like a great person to date. You know?
Yeah, it was only annoying. Like, I felt that way the entire time until he was then like he's like, hey, how's it going? And then immediately started dancing and was like, oh, we got to do this. And then like he basically had an itinerary for the whole party, and it was all planned out that he was going to like greet and mingle and then dance and then go over to the snacks and then go over, like he had it all planned out. And so when she was like, hey, can we talk about you being such a punctual prick? He was like, it's going to cut into our dancing. Can we dance and talk at the same time?
I like that alliteration you did.
Thank you. I think it was warranted. And it's look, I don't want to stop being ourselves in this show.
I would never want you to.
I'm aware now that people don't like what we're doing. And
that's not what I wanted you to say.
No.
That's not what I wanted to say. Look, some people do.
That has been the risk the entire time, and it has, because this is a show that has glasses are coming off for this.
Shit. Zach's getting serious.
This has been a show that, like you said, the fans are like, feel this show is very sacred.
Yes. And it's sacred to us now too.
We love this show. Yeah. And I think also feel that nothing is sacred. And that might be a little bit of a disconnect, where like, it doesn't mean that we don't love it. It just means the show doesn't matter. And it's fun.
You mean that like a Carl Sagan way? Like nothing matters. It's just the pale blue dot. Like at the end of the world.
Yeah, I mean,
right,
yeah, cool. it does. It's fine. Like, it's fine, guys. This show is cool. That you grew up. I didn't grow up on it. So who am I?
You're just reacting. We're just reactivists. That's all we're doing.
Exactly. I didn't write the show. You know what I mean? If you don't want me to react to it this way,
get in your DeLorean and write it better. There you go. So Adam fucks off.
Yeah.
And then the dreams take the stage, but before that, Dennis is on drums and Matt's kind of a jerk, as we said before, and then Dennis runs away upset. And like everybody at the party's just watching this brother bully his younger sibling.
It's rough. I've definitely been the like younger sibling at a party, and I've never been bullied by my siblings. They were very cool about it, including me. But I did have like a bedtime before people, so I'd have to leave the party earlier. You know, mom comes to pick me up because, you know, my siblings had their own cars or whatever the hell.
With I'm just an extra change of clothes, probably.
And I just know everybody's still having a good time. And I'm just sitting in bed like, I can't wait until I'm 2 years older.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so sad.
And now that you're older, you just be like, I want to go to bed early. And it just sucks.
Yeah, and then my boss calls me a young man, and I'm like, hell yeah, I'm real young.
That's right. Tortellini Tush knows what's up.
That's right. Best thing you said all week.
So I noticed here when the Dreams took the stage that Jenny staged right instead of stage left.
Bananas.
It doesn't matter because she's not fucking playing this entire time, even though we definitely hear keyboard throughout the song.
I think this makes sense. So we put like Loren's always, our bass player is always on the stage left because the bass headstock is jutting out, and it's better to jut when bass is a large instrument. Theirs is particularly large.
I've noticed both, of these things.
So, like, this configuration made a lot more sense to me in general of having Tiffany's bass, like the headstock going outwards, versus inwards to get in the way of boogieing.
I really like the setup. I do.
Yeah. I wonder if we'll ever see it like this again.
You don't know. I don't remember. So
you don't know either.
I kind of do. I don't. But we're gonna leave that. We're gonna leave that simmer over the next couple of weeks.
Okay, I kind of do too. See how silly that sounds.
So we're hearing the song "Castles on Quicksand," which was teased on the Double Date episode, where the Dreams have to play the luau and the wedding at the same time. But we get almost a full version. Oh my god!
No, thank you. I was trying, I've heard this song before. Why? But
you
then
just
I was
heard the chorus, I think. Yeah.
And I was like, why can't I find, Castles on Quicksand is I would have this in my notes and it would show up, and I was searching and going through and I couldn't find it. And that makes sense because it was buried in a montage.
Yes. And so the version we hear is about 2.5 minutes, but the actual version of the song is 4 minutes. So again, we're getting kind of an abbreviated version from an abbreviated version that we saw earlier. I learned this song. Do you want to know the chords? The people have been waiting the entire episode to just want to learn how to play these songs. I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, if you're in the right spot. If you've scanned this episode, you're here.
So that's right. And so this is standard tuning. The intro and the pre-chorus are the same. So this is just going by the actual episode. If you listen to the full song version on YouTube that has been released officially by the California Dreams people, whoever they are, thank you. The intro is a little different, but whatever. It goes from F to D to B flat, and then and then the verse is just D, and it's kind of ripping off the T-Rex song Bang a Gong. That's doing that same thing, also in D. And so intro, verse, pre-chorus, and the chorus, which is the catchiest part, is F, D, B flat, and C. It does that twice, and then it just kind of cycles through. Matt has a bitchin' solo that he throws in, and it's really fun to watch him play. Jenny is singing the entire time. She's not behind the keyboard, but I'm assuming with their wireless mic setup that they also have a backing track that they're playing too. Do you think
she jumps behind the keyboard during his solo? Well,
I don't see her. She just jumps to the other side she jumps stage right.
Yeah, I'm telling you, my friend. No, okay. I know so. She does jump back behind the keyboard because I noticed it.
Okay.
That's how I know, because I saw it.
Okay, cool. I kind of know.
Back there, and I was like, okay. No, and I was like, oh, that makes sense, because he's dropping out of the rhythm. He's playing the lead, and so she's hopping in with the chords to fill it out. That seemed like a thing that would happen.
Okay.
That is realistic. A choice that I would do live with that configuration. Be like, hey, can you pop in here for this?
Pop in. I noticed that I noticed that Matt was usually really on with the chords, but I think this week he just focused on the solo because he's just doing first position D a lot, and we do, although that's in the key, it's not always the chord. But Tiff, I'm hoping by the second season she starts ripping it up on bass and really kind of has some kind of awareness about where she's at on the neck.
I hope so.
Again, she was accidentally hitting the B flat properly a couple times, but most of the time she was doing a B and an F sharp, and that's just not in the key. It's unfortunate.
Right. It's not even in there.
No, that's a bummer. But I did notice, and I want to give Tiff credit where credit's due. Some heavy lifting on the background vocals in this song. They're almost mixed the same as the lead vocals.
Yeah. Tiff and Matt coming in with some harmonies.
And during the solo, Tony had a little cool drum thing too. There was some syncopation, something different. They could have easily just like done the intro again, but some cool stuff. Who knows?
This is a pretty cool song.
It's not bad.
I like this song pretty well. I think it's one of my favorite of Jenny's songs.
Interesting.
I'm trying to remember the others. Oh, it's on the soundtrack. This
George just mentioned it's on the soundtrack that we keep threatening people with.
I can't wait to listen to it.
We're gonna have to do a listen to it together.
I'm holding on to not listen because I want to listen to these songs for the first time in real time when they perform them to me.
With us, of course.
With us. So I'm excited to... wait. So the soundtrack, is it just for the season 1?
I believe so. Yes, it is.
Okay, that's great. So that means I can officially listen to this soundtrack.
I love it.
I mean, I can allow myself to listen. I've been able to, but I can really go there.
So,
and you all can too.
So after the Dreams are done playing, they did a little cut here, which was like, this is going to be our last song, because maybe they heard us bitching in the future about them playing these one song sets, and they're like, we don't know how long they played, but people at the party are digging it. They're doing the Charleston, they're doing the funky chicken, they're doing the hot potato or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And so they put on a good show, and Matt is like, everyone drive safe, and they're, then they find out that Dennis is missing, and then we're gonna go to the kitchen. And there's a really dumb gag, but I wanted to throw it to you and ask if you maybe thought it was funny. Everyone has whipped cream or shaving cream all over them because Dennis's booby trap stuff. It just looked like a big sploshing fest. Were you into that?
It's a splosh fest. Like they... Tiffany walks in with it, and then it's like, apparently Dennis booby traps the room. And then Matt's like, you should see his treehouse. And right on cue, that's right on cue, Tony baby. And Sly come walking in, also covered in this whipped cream. I mean, come on, the timing of that is hilarious, and it's just, I mean, you can put together that they went to the treehouse to search for Dennis, and that's why they got whipped cream on them. I mean, it is good. It is great. I did enjoy it. Can you not?
No, I can tell. You took the glasses off earlier, and I wanted to see your pupils dilate at this point.
Yeah, I was very excited. That's the part you were hoping I would enjoy.
Yes. Well, okay. So I did notice that Tony said midget in here, which I thought was funny but dated. But
oh yeah, what did he call?
He Dennis? Called him a booby trap midget Rambo or something, which I thought was a good line. I thought him and then the part that I thought you would be really into is when him and Sly slapped each other's hands and then a bunch of shaving cream went everywhere.
Oh yeah, okay. I like that.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Don't worry, I did like that.
But there was something in this spot that I want you to go. Since you have YouTube up, you can track this. Can you go to 15 minutes and 53 seconds in?
15:53. Here we go.
Okay, is there something you notice? Because this is my favorite thing with old shows.
Do I need to listen, or is it
It's purely visual, but this was, speaking of 90210, was egregious. This was in almost every episode. There's a cameo here you might notice. I'm going to just watch you watching and see if you got it. 1553. It'll be probably at 1554.
There's a cameo?
Yep, there's a cameo. It's one of my favorite characters in any TV show or movie.
Oh, the boom mic.
It's the boom mic.
It's the boom mic. Oh, that's great. I did not notice that.
Oh, my eyes are just pinpointed to it. It's like razor sharp laser focus whenever there's a boom mic in the shot. I want us to have a boom mic in our shots for one episode and see if anybody notices. But
we should.
I love a boom mic, and you could tell because they panned back a little and it just dipped in just ever so slightly, and I was like, I lost my shit. I was just so happy.
Oh, that's great, because it's kind of shadowy back there in the room.
The show's been pretty good with it. Saved by the Bell had a lot, but literally 90210 was. It was like bonking people in the head. Like there has to be some kind of montage of it, and I would love to see. But
that's
anyway, so because of this, there's a really lazy line delivery at one point, and then about an eye, and Slide hurts him in the eye. It doesn't matter, but Matt figures out he's got to be at Sharky's playing that stupid video game. So they go to Sharky's, which is closed at this point. How the fuck did Dennis get in? None of the lights are on. There's no people in there. It doesn't seem like there's any employees there either. So how did he get in?
It does seem odd. It's like an abandoned Sharky's at night, and he just roamed in. And
it was kind of
still on.
It was trippy seeing it. Like, it was like liminal space. It was just weird seeing Sharky's after hours with nobody in there.
No extras. I would believe that this was a late night place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there's no reason other than just, I guess they didn't have the budget or reason to have people there.
I mean, yeah, I guess you're right, because it's not like this show gives a fuck about like time and hours of operation from this place the way that we do. But if people were there, then it would be like, how early was this fucking party that Jake threw, you know? And I just want to say, little cap, I think the Jake character was great. It was not what I was expecting at all. You expected him to be a huge douche, and then all of a sudden he's kind of a dork, and he just throws good parties, and he kind of like looks around. He's like, "This is cool. You're cool. Everyone's cool. I put on a show for fucking teenagers, and I can read the room." So
yeah, and his, I said it in the intro, but as part of my intro, but I did really love what he said, where they're like, if he's like, "Why are you wearing sunglasses inside at night?" And Slide's like, "Tiffany, it's because it's cool." And he's like, "No, it's not. I went to the eye doctor. My pupils are dilated."
I love that. That's great.
Like, no, it's not cool. That's not why I'm doing it.
I only have like one note here from Sharky's, and it just says Dennis is a bitch. And he is. He's just acting. Whoa. I'm sorry. Like, I've been waiting for this moment for like 13 episodes. He's not a good actor. And he's just like, I don't want to be your brother anymore, even after Matt's apologizing. And then Matt has to bribe him with a fucking, I don't know, can maybe George can look that up. Like, how much is an autographed Nolan Ryan baseball? That he has to bribe him with this, so like he doesn't get in trouble. So, I don't know, get him back home.
Doesn't bribe him with it. After Dennis accepts his apology, he's like, "Okay, but we don't have to hug, do we?" He's like, "No." He's like, "But I also want you to have my Nolan Ryan signed baseball," which was a thing earlier in the episode. They had like promised they were getting along, and so Dennis had used that as a thing in front of their parents of like, "I see we're getting along so well. He promised to give me his Ryan Nolan signed baseball." Anyway, Matt actually
Ryan
does
Nolan.
it. What is it? Nolan Ryan. Did you know that his nickname is the Ryan Express?
No. Do you have Wikipedia up right now? How did you know that? It's not.
It's just a little bit of baseball knowledge I'm hiding under this cap.
Oh shit, man! You wrote it on the inside of your bill. Cool. George
Don't confuse me with the facts.
George just chimed in and said an autographed Nolan Ryan baseball is only $40 today. So fuck.
Okay.
Is that like depreciating value? I thought he was like a big deal. I thought that would be something.
Today. So back then maybe it was more. And maybe
Really?
I don't know. He played for the Dolphins. Not the Dolphins.
Is that a question?
He played for the
Marlins?
The Marlins. He played for the LA Angels.
Okay.
He played for like 4 teams.
All right. So any of those could have been correct, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So
no. Okay. They had an. Here's the thing.
Okay.
I know you hate it when I take Dennis's side, and I'm not gonna be able to do this ever again because he's out of our lives.
That's true. I should let this go. Yeah.
Matt was real dick at the party.
Yes, he was.
Dennis, definitely get off the drums. Dennis, this is a party. You're supposed to be in bed, but also it's his house also that there are like 50 kids in.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm going to fuck around and play on these drums. And Matt could have been less of a dick about getting him off of the drum set and like not making fun of him in front of 50 people twice his age, or, 2/3 to 1.5,
Got it.
his age.
Older
kids. That's very embarrassing. And so Dennis to be like, I'm not going to accept your apology immediately. That was mean, I don't know. And okay. And then he really threw it back, didn't he? Because he did say, I don't even want you to be my brother anymore. And there was one time that I told my big brother that I hated him.
Okay.
And I feel like this is that moment of like, I of course I don't hate my brother. I didn't hate him then. I was just mad, and I don't even remember what it was about, but we were fighting. And I said I hated him. And I still feel bad about it.
How did he take it?
He said he finished giving me a swirly.
He shook you out.
Don't talk with your mouth full.
Upside down to get all the change out of your pocket.
Yeah. But I felt bad. I went too far. Hate's a strong word. No, he didn't return it. He knew that I was just talking shit. It took it actually much like Matt did, where he's like, ow. But like ultimately,
That's so interesting, because I also remember there was only one time that when I was younger that my brother and I got into a thing, and it wasn't even to him that I said anything. I was just like annoyed because he was always around and I was always around him because we were so close in age. We're all kind of Irish triplets, but we were only a year apart in school. So I remember telling my mom and like, I don't know, I must have been like 13 or something. And I was like, why can't he find his own friends? He's always around. We're always hanging out. And she just looked me dead in the eye and she's like, you will be so glad that you have a sibling that you can complain about that. So that always stuck with me because I was like, yeah, because a lot of my friends don't even like their siblings. So
yeah.
And then it was, we were just always like kind of attached to the hip all through like high school and then at college. So like, I would have never said that. But again, like Dennis and Matt, it's like a big age gap and the kid sucks. So I understand Matt's plight. But sorry, I couldn't help myself.
No, that's amazing. Regardless of age, it is, this is somebody, when you're growing up, you're trying to gain some independence and gain some like relationships with people and friendships that exist outside of your family unit. And it is annoying when you share those with your friends or with your siblings. And so, yeah, I had some moments like that because I shared a lot of friends. Like there were people who Drew and I were friends with. Drew's my brother. And then Kirsty, my sister, younger. We shared a lot. Like I was in between. So depending on the years, I sort of like shared friend groups with each of them.
You were
so there were
floating
times when I
like
was just
a party.
like, I can't get away from my family. Like, I live with you. I share a room with my brother, and like we're friends with all the same people. I'm homeschooled. I don't see anyone but the same like 3 people.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're. I mean, this is a dumb question, but were both your siblings also homeschooled?
Just me.
Just you?
No, it was all of us. Wouldn't that be weird? Yeah,
that's
they
like
all went to
circumcising only one of your boys.
Yeah, just to see what they'd do, you know? No, we all were. All 4 of us. I got an oldest sister as well. And yeah, all 4 of us were. K through 12, baby.
One room schoolhouse.
Truly.
Speaking of big rooms, Zach.
Tell me about it. I love hearing more.
We're going to jump to the living room again.
Thank goodness.
We're basically a living room kitchen situation. They don't know where Dennis is. This is before cell phones, obviously, so they're freaking out. They go to the kitchen, and
Jenny's cleaning. Because she stress cleans,
which seems weird because she was like, I can't date this guy because he's too type A, and then she like cleans all the time, and they seem like they'd be perfect for each other.
It does seem like they would be good for each other. Do you stress clean?
No. I should. That would be, what a great thing to have. It's like, do you work out constantly when you're like feeling down about yourself? No, I wish I had that problem. Jesus Christ.
I stress clean.
Okay.
Like if
you sure?
Well, there are different levels to it.
Right.
But I am somebody who definitely like if I'm fighting or upset with someone, I will clean.
Okay.
I will clean. So it's like, oh, mom's doing the dishes ferociously. Her and dad got into a spat.
Okay.
That's me. I'm mom in that situation.
Mom and dad. Why not?
I can be both.
It's your week for laundry, Zach. Sorry.
Yep.
Just like the
And
Garrison
dishes.
household. I did notice in this scene, so the living room, I had a moment where I was like, this is the last time we're going to see this fucking set. Look at all the work they did to it. And I don't think we're going to see it again. Why did I have lip aerobics? Why did I write that down?
Sly suggests she work off some of that nervous energy, not
So
by cleaning,
he's into
but with
Jenny
some lip
at that
aerobics.
point. Still into Jenny.
He's into Jenny. I think it's before they dated.
Our timeline peeps. Chalk that up. Okay.
I think it's before they dated. But yeah, he's lip aerobics. Have you ever asked somebody to work out their nervous energy with some lip aerobics and then kissy faces at them?
I kind of think of my life in 2 phases, before and after I heard that. So I will be only saying that from now on. Okay? Because I think about kissing a lot. I think about smoochy poos or whatever we called them on the last episode. Did you notice Sly's shirt in this scene? What's
it say?
It says hip scene, and then there's a picture of a cello. And as a person with a cello in the band, it's the least hip instrument you can possibly have on a t-shirt.
You think that's true?
It could have been a stand-up bass. There wasn't a bow, no context clues, but damn, I don't even know what that means.
Only because it's a hip scene. The letters are such. I think it's like a jazzy thing. I think it's a jazz shirt. So it's
stand-up bass. You think so? Okay, because they took some liberties with the shape, but sure, why not?
Because the neck is not right for anything.
I also noticed that looks like Tiff cleaned her dress from all the shaving cream that was supposed to be on it. Wardrobe. I think they filmed this scene before.
Very astute. What happened? Maybe
I don't know.
Brought her an extra dress too.
Oh, he carries all the dresses in his cars. So anyway, the parents come home early. Oh no. And then they have to make something up about where Matt and where Matt and Dennis are. Then Matt and Dennis show up, and then they have to say that they're sleepwalking. Anyway, the parents they come home early because of some bullshit. It doesn't matter. This whole scene is kind of bullshit, and it sucks that this is the last scene we're going to see the Garrison family all together. So I was really expecting something poignant, but I don't know why I was expecting that based on the other, instances of poor writing on this show so far.
Yes.
I was kind of bummed, and then we have a sleepwalking freeze frame at the end, and that's the joke. But I guess.
Well, not before.
I'm sorry, I'm going all over the place. Adam comes back and he spills the beans about what happened. So
that was awesome.
They almost got away with it.
Yeah, it was great.
And then they had to kind of fess up about what happened.
They're all trying to lie, and he's all like, Jenny's like, why are you here? He's like, I'm trying to be more spontaneous, like because of what you told me at the party.
Yeah.
And mom and dad are like, the party? I'm like, yeah, no, there was no party. Yeah, there were like 50 people here.
She's like, go be spontaneous tomorrow. Does that mean she's gonna date him tomorrow because he's just so goddamn cute that you can't say no? You don't know. I
wait, no. What was? Never mind.
Okay.
Thank you for being a part of that. You weren't invited to that conversation, but you were there. Thank you for waiting. It's over now.
I have a question.
Yes.
What happens to the Garrison at this point? How do you think they're going to do it? So at the end of the episode, whatever, freeze frame, silly gag.
All of them getting grounded because they had a party and then pretending to sleepwalk. I'm sure you got a small chuckle out of that. But how do you think they're gonna take this from now on? Because we know Jenny is in a couple more episodes, and we know the house is still going to be used. Are they just going to pretend that they're there and never show them? And Matt's here till the end of the second season?
End of the second season, yeah.
Okay. So, no parents. I mean, Rapture? Is that what happened to mom and dad at Dana?
Yes, Kirk Cameron. Very possible. I'm going to miss her.
Like, Matt definitely and Jenny seem like the saved type, but also probably backslidden at this point in their rock and roll careers.
It's just too tempting of a lifestyle, and I would agree.
It is. A lot of vices. It's true what they say. Everything they say.
Everything.
Every bit of it's true.
But no
the parents
fooling.
We're right to worry. No fooling. What it actually happened.
No, I just was segueing to like I'm genuinely gonna miss.
Yeah.
The parents, and I know they were a small part, but they're an anchor, and I think this is going to be a big turning point for the show, and we're going to talk more about it in our season wrap episode that's coming up. But it's good. The dynamic is definitely going to change, and you can see that kind of showcase that this is now going to be more just about kid stuff, more about teenage hijinks, still about the band, hopefully, but it's not going to be this family unit anymore. They're going to be like two orphan kids, and then one orphan kid, and then no orphan kids, and then do any of these people have fucking families?
And like specifically, teens. Was this Saved by the Bell's doing? Like the success of that show?
Yes, the show only existed because Saved by the Bell got so popular.
Because when this started, it started out as obviously the Garrison family, but it was following a similar format to a lot of family sitcoms where the whole family could sit down and there would be people of multiple age brackets that the family could relate to and enjoy. So there were younger siblings, so they're young. That's why Full House was so popular, because it was like we have adults, we have teenagers, and we have children, and like the whole family can watch it and enjoy 5 minutes of these 22 minutes and the entire thing. So it's interesting. Like that's how this California Dreams started out, much more of like a family thing, and now it's shifting into this really like teen specific thing. Like we don't have children, like kids, watching this show, and we don't apparently, or they don't like Dennis, so it doesn't matter. And adults don't really care for this show. We're really gonna
we're just narrowing the demographic. Basically, this is no longer a family show, and it's just specifically on Saturday mornings. That's not when families sit down and watch shows together. It's for tweens and adolescents.
Exactly. And that's where over
squarely fell.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be the episode, and that's going to be the season of California Dreams. It feels like yesterday we were just inching towards the halfway mark of the first season. We still have a lot more, so we're not going anywhere, but we just wanted people to know that we're going to have some fun interview episode coming up that we're really stoked about. We're going to have a season music video recap episode coming up, and we're going to do our season wrap and then our predictions for the next season. So, George, do we want to try to get, you know what? We're going to wait. We're going to wait to figure out what the next episode's going to be called, and then we're going to ask Zach later. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, closer to the time we view it. Is that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because we got a couple weeks left, and we're going to be telling everybody the date, if we will. The next season, if you guys are just like, I just need the original formula. I just need season 2. When the fuck is it coming out? Do not fret. We'll be back on May 22nd. Season 2, episode 1 will be coming out then. So you just sit tight. We got a lot of fun, free stuff coming out for you too, if you just want to stick with us.
We absolutely will be doing an episode every single week. It's just May 22nd is when season 2 starts.
Mm-hmm. I mean, who would not want to hear us once a week? Dummies.
Yeah, not you dummies.
Bunch of Dennises, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I would like to give out a couple awards though. This is the last time of the season that we can do that. But I want to give my Tony Award to Jenny this week because I feel this might be her swan song. I really do. And the whole idea of Castles on Quicksand is that it slowly dissolves everything with time, and I think this is maybe a poignant moment. We don't know. She could have something huge happen in the next 2 episodes while she's here, but this was pretty good. And if she did go back to the keyboard, then it just solidifies what I'm talking about. So, I want to give the Tiffy to Grandma Garrison. Good job.
Excellent.
She just didn't show up when she needed to. So, and then I'm sorry, but Tiffy gets the Jenny.
Whoa.
I'm sorry. I just need a little more from her. I mean, her background vocals were sick, and it was tough to decide, but the bass playing is really just not up to snuff.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna also give Tony the Tony to Jenny.
Yeah.
Great performance.
Great pipes.
I like the way she dances great.
Yeah. She was into it. She actually cared.
She's a performer, and she was getting she was using the whole room. Mm-hmm. She was getting at everybody's faces. She was touching the audience. They love that. Put your fingers on them.
So to jump in. If you do want to support the show, you can become a Patreon member where you can have video access. You can see all of us, all of Zach's funny outfits and Pete's decorations in his room at patreon.com/surfdudeswithattitude. You can find links to everything that we do at surfdudeswithattitude.com. This week, if you are not a Patreon member, we are giving you all of our bonus stuff for free. So this episode will be available on YouTube with everyone on it, and you are cordially invited to the free after show.
Cordially. I'm actually aggressively inviting you to the after show. Stick around, putz.
I'll be the Goldilocks of that invitation. I'm just kind of. I'd love for you to be there. Actually.
But I understand if you can't make it.
Yeah, we'll miss you, but we'll also be having too much fun. We won't really miss you hard.
Sure,
but please enjoy because you'll wish you had.
And yeah, I want maybe a moment of silence and for us to pour out a 40 tonight for the Garrison family that will no longer be with us after this episode. So thank you for 13 great episodes. You guys birthed this great thing, and then like a dove into the wind, you're going to release it so it can live its own life. So thank you, Dick and Melody Garrison.
Truly.
Nope. I said what I said.
Anything else you guys want to go over before we move into the after show?
No, but I really want to thank everybody for sticking with us for this first season. It's going to get better as the show maybe gets worse. So we're going to continue doing it. Thank you so much. This was such a silly idea, and I just want to thank my two co-hosts for this first season. They have gone above and beyond and took a chance with me, and we've been super professional and fun. And I don't know, I'm excited to do a lot of this other shit, like a lot of the side project stuff with a lot of the fun interviews that we have lined up. So this baby's growing ever so slightly. So thank you. This is Pete from New York City, and I'll see you next week.
Well said, Pete. Thank you. Thanks for having us. This has been real fun, and I continue to look forward to it.
Thank you, everyone, from the bottom of my heart, as for able to produce the show. I thank you for listening, and thank you for giving all this meaning. All right, moving into the after show.
Tear.
Oh no, I'm gonna run my mascara.
Go ahead. What? Actually, banter once I got a delivery I got to sign for. Hang on.
He needs to run off and do old man stuff.
Yeah, take a poo.
So, who are you most worried about disappointing from this show so far, from what Pete's been talking about?
Oh man, I mean, I don't know any of them personally, so I don't know that I have more worries than others. I think we've ragged the most on Sly and Tony, but I think it's warranted, and all the reasons we have are warranted. I think their performances, Sly, and I think the characters, yeah. I think we've been pretty honest about them as performers are very good. I think they are among the best in what they are doing. I don't know. I guess some of Tony's this is a writer's fault, but some of it is a little two-dimensional. But Sly plays this character so well, and he's such a villain, such a sleazeball. So I'm not super worried about offending that actor. Mostly because I hope he sees what we mean by it. I was it's no knock on how he's doing. It's just this guy's a sleazeball. I would not feel comfortable with him around the female members of my band. You know what I mean?
I would love to see a spin-off show of the character Sly today and him acting exactly the same way and where his life is.
Yeah. I'd love it. Matt's such a sweetheart that I hope he's all right. I don't know. I just hope they get it. I hope they understand the humor behind it and the absurdity, and also that it was 30 years ago, and if people were to judge what I did half that amount of time ago, musically, it's a lot of it was shit and I was doing my best, but a lot of it was poor writing. My lyrics were terrible, when I first started. It's delivery, I was doing my best, and that's what everybody's doing is it's poor writing and everyone's doing their best.
Question I asked Zach was, who are you most afraid that you've offended so far, just from whatever miscommunication or whatever? I mean, we made it clear again that it's all the writing that we're more getting into, but
I think we need to give a disclaimer, but I'm glad we did. But I didn't hear what Zach said, but I'm going to assume Brentley Gore because like I actually like really respect him as a musician and been able to do it this long, and he seems like a really stand-up nice guy, and I'm not just kissing his ass hoping he comes on the show. Like,
he's a good writer. I actually like his solo stuff.
If they don't like it, they don't like it. But I think the longevity of shows like Saved by the Bell is because they look back on it very tongue-in-cheek, and they know how ridiculous it is. You know, like, I don't know if anybody ever watched it, but the Saved by the Bell reboot, it was marketed terribly. It was so cringy and shitty. But watching the show done by people who genuinely loved the first run, and they were like 3 writers from 30 Rock, it was hilarious. It was so meta, but not to an annoying point. Like, they had something to say, and it had like poignant moments too. And I think if the California Dreams world did that too, I think it might actually be revitalized. They can look back on the cheesy elements and still find some charm in it, the way that we are. We're championing this cause, and I wish people would fucking see it a little easier.
For this after show, I didn't want to prepare a lot. I really wanted to take time to get into who we are. So we've gone 13 episodes now where we haven't really talked a lot about ourselves. So I thought we'd take turns asking each other questions so that people can get to know us better.
Yeah, well, It's about time. Nobody's
I'll start. I have a question for both of you. Where, like, Pete, you're in New York, and Zach, you're in Nashville. But where'd you guys grow up? Where have you lived?
I'll throw it to you, Jake.
All right. I was born in Denver, Colorado. Moved to Lebanon, Tennessee when I was like 7 with the whole family. Dad moved for work, and we followed him. We stuck it out. We stuck together. We said, okay, we'll come.
Good idea. If you're keep the family together.
And yeah, you got to do it. Unlike some families we've been talking about, yeah, grew up there. Lebanon is like an hour east of Nashville. It's pretty rural. It's mostly an agricultural small town. There's like a theater, and there was a music store. And I started taking guitar lessons when I was like 14. And then when I was old enough to get a job, 16, I strolled on in and I got myself a job. And I knew the owner from taking lessons. And I was like, hey, I turned 16, I get my license and I need a job. He's like, yeah, come in next Monday, I'll train you. And like by then,
sounds like nepotism.
It was crazy. And yeah, by the next week, he gave me a key and the code, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm running this now when you're gone. Yeah, they were great. He and his daughter ran the whole thing. Toppers Music in Lebanon, Tennessee, for anybody who wants to know. They're still running. They're great. And then I taught guitar out of there for a little while, and started the band and moved to Nashville, moved out of my parents' house and moved to Nashville with my siblings, and have been kind of bouncing around since then, different parts of Nashville, playing music with Fable Cry, writing, recording, touring, doing blacksmithing with my brother for a while. Now I'm doing stage work at a local venue, and bouncing around along with the tunes. And that's a little bit about me. And I like...
Do you call yourself a blacksmith?
Can I call myself a blacksmith?
Do you?
Or do I?
I would fucking lead with that every time.
Why'd I tell this boring Lebanon story? Just be like, oh.
Well, I was just saying, when
I comes from iron, and it's in the family, and we just kind of passed it down. And Farron Iron Works does sound redundant when you know that. But yeah, I do. Yeah, I did that for 16 years. Fabrication and blacksmithing and forging and welding and all the things that you do with a steel.
Cool. Every time I played Oregon Trail, I chose to be a blacksmith because I thought it sounded cool. On I died all the time, but I didn't see a correlation with that. At least I died cool.
It is very cool. I'm glad I didn't die. I got out before I died.
Well, I died of dysentery, not because of the blacksmithing, but it didn't really help me finding my way from Missouri.
I never had dysentery there at the shop, but I did.
This is a perfect segue for your poop story that you have teased but haven't told. So you were iron worker, theater, pooping. I love it.
Pooping. All right. Do you want to hear it?
Yes.
Okay. So I was yesterday. There was we have a lot of roof work. We're getting our whole roof rethatched. I don't think. And so they were on one side of the house. I'm upstairs on the second story, and I'm relieving myself. I'm going number 2, if you must know.
Okay.
And they had gone for lunch. The window is open.
Were you waiting for them to go to lunch to relieve yourself? Because that sounds like something I would do.
I just didn't think it was going to be a concern, that they might be on a similar part of the roof, the similar side of the house that this window goes out to. So I'm going. I finish up. I'm going to wipe, and I reach my hand back, and I got my whole hand down there, and I look up out the window, and I make direct eye contact with the roofer, who is just moseying past this window and glanced in right at the right time.
Wait.
I think he only saw from my probably nips up,
okay,
with the angle of it. But
wait, were you
no
shirtless?
way to disguise when your shoulders back and I'm sitting down, and this is clearly the bathroom. There's no disguising what I'm doing.
Yes.
And we haven't spoken since.
Did you have?
He saw your butthole and he can't unsee it.
Did you have a close relationship with him prior to that?
Well, it's a lot closer now
as we ever got.
Yes,
but it was
sure.
not. We didn't talk beforehand about it.
Wait, were you shirtless? Important. Were you George Costanzaing?
No, I'm just giving.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure.
I said nips up.
Yeah. Were you rude? Did you say anything like, "Oh, hey, I'm in here"?
Hi. No. No, he looked away and he moved away very quickly.
Does your bathroom not have curtains or blinds or anything? Or
okay, it has curtains, and they were both tied up.
Okay,
and I couldn't reach them and pull the tie in one fell swoop. I would have had to stand up and do it. And then it was at that point, I was like, "We're here. We're here." He's already seen this much.
How far is your toilet paper that you had to stand up and lean over?
I wasn't standing up or leaning over. No, okay. I was sitting down and my hand was back around.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Past my bum. I was in.
So you still had one good hand that you could have waved, is what George is saying, and you didn't do it. Or do you use both hands to wipe? Is that what you're telling me?
Right, yeah, one around each side.
Back, you just meet in the middle.
The 3 seashells. I got it. Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, that's the move. It happened, and I was shocked, and then everyone else in my house heard me cackling because all I could do was it was so. It's funny. Sometimes you're the punchline in your life, and that was a moment of vulnerability that
There's nothing you could do.
There's nothing I could do. And we really we're renting. So the person who is handling all of this is not here. So I don't actually have to interact with these people. And we actually have not. We had interacted prior to this incident. And then since he's been going around the corner. I don't know. He might not be avoiding me, but it seems like he's avoiding me. And I don't know if that's out of respect or fear. I'm not sure, but that's my story.
It was.
Was it worth it?
That was. I'm happy. Happy Pappy.
Pete, what's your deal? Where are you from?
Speaking of poop, here's my life story. I was born in Kentucky, and I was raised in Pennsylvania, and I went to Penn State. My first job was at Don's Pier, which was a local seafood place, and I say that with air quotes. But not just a seafood place, Zach. It was also a Gothic gift gallery. So as a 14-year-old child, illegally working under the table, I was also selling gargoyles to people. And the guy was also a slumlord, so I had to answer the phone. Don's Pier and Apartments and Gothic gift gallery. So
what?
I don't know.
Real?
Yes. I don't know how many OSHA and health department violations that place had, but I eventually went to block.
Say that full title again?
Yes. Thank you for calling Don's Pier and Apartments and Gothic gift gallery. This is Pete speaking. How may I be of service?
Does it still exist?
Oh my God, no. It's a parking lot now. A way better use of that space. They exclusively hired young children and illegal immigrants, unfortunately. So
you were 14.
I was 14. And after that, I worked at Blockbuster, which is where my love of film and bad television definitely like kind of flourished. And I was always in bands, and I was always the young person in the band, taking it more seriously than the other people. So I knew I wanted to be like a band leader. And I went to college, I graduated, and then I moved to New York because I wanted to be where the music was. And I think I definitely had fallen in love with a city that I didn't know anything about. I fell in love with it through films like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and The Warriors. I didn't really know that it was nothing like that anymore. It doesn't really matter. Even then, when I moved here in 2007, it doesn't matter if you're from New York as far as music. Like, everything is on the internet now. If you're big on the internet, it doesn't matter. You can be in your fucking basement in Topeka, Kansas, you know? So, I don't know. I have a real love-hate relationship with this city. And, but 14 years ago, I started a band called You Bred Raptors, and I've been doing that since. I haven't really had a lot of side projects myself. I've just put everything I've had into this, and for better or worse, here I am. So I'd love to kind of get back out there and just join another existing project. It would be really nice to just kind of be in a band that doesn't need me to do everything behind the scenes. I don't have to book the shows, you know, or even maybe write, you know, the bulk of the material. I would just like to go into a well-oiled machine and just be a cog for once. That's kind of my dream right now. But what did I do? I started a podcast instead. It's basically that. So
where you can meet Brentley Gore, who might invite you.
I really think he's got a good sense of humor. I really think he's gonna eventually do it. I think if we can get a hashtag going or a campaign, I think he's not the one that I had heard that didn't like it. By the way, I am worried about that. I did get an ominous note that said he's aware of your podcast because it's so vague. I don't know if that was good or bad. I know, right?
Someone,
wow.
I
heard that if
just mean he doesn't try and get him on the show, but they might not have heard back if they did.
We have been talking to one of the cast members who's interested in doing it. One of them have shown interest but not got back to me, and then one of the later people have said, like, I don't have any interest in that. I don't like people making fun of the shows I'm in. So I was like, okay, we're gonna change your mind though. So I'm hoping.
Did you reply with like, well, it's not all making fun. I do also love it.
I did through a third party that was helping me kind of speak to them. So I let them know, like, hey, totally cool, like no pressure, but just so you know, this is done out of reverence, and you know, well, I don't think we would do this show if we just purely hated it. Like it's too long, it's too dated. If this was a slog, we would find other ways to kind of communicate with each other. I genuinely feel this is worth discovering and talking about. And just because we're the only podcast to really do it, that's not indicative of it not being worth it.
And like,
so
we've put a phenomenal amount of money into this thing. There is no way we would keep lighting money on fire if we didn't enjoy what we were doing.
I mean, that's not true. As musicians, that's all we do is we just keep throwing money at a project because the sunken cost fallacy, kids. Gambler's ruin. There it is. My favorite color is turquoise.
Oh, really?
Yeah, seafoam.
That's my birthstone.
As you can see with my room that I've done, like, if you guys remember, like, just to go to George's point, how much we have put into this pot. This room was a fucking empty wasteland, you know, and it is rare to have a second bedroom in New York City, but through a series of coincidences, like calamities and circumstance, I had a spare room, and I have completely transformed it. That's right. They died after a set that I had played, and then I never found them at an arcade. So
that's right. That's how
too
vicious
bad.
Your music is.
Too bad.
He was all out of quarters.
Oh, so I guess George, what do you do? What's your story? Give us the little fucking.
Where have you lived? Yeah,
Cliff Notes
I grew
version.
Up in Hershey, Pennsylvania, where I reside today.
Well, it's sad when you say it like that.
I moved around a bit. Moved to Philly, lived in DC. Now I'm back in Hershey again. Pursued video production. Wanted to be a director. Did not know that was a extremely sought after profession. So I'm with you guys and realizing that what you want to do and what you end up doing are two completely different things. So. Yeah, just this is my way of getting back to my roots and being involved in video production again.
It's true, because what we said before, like you and I, we were first on this podcast front. 2006, we started a podcast together
early. Like we were probably within like the first 10,000 podcasts ever when we started.
I think so. Yeah, and awesome. It was called Out of Commission from the Karate Kid line, and it was a movie podcast where we would just talk about movie news. We'd see a film each week and talk about it. And I like looking back now, it's just kind of crazy because like what we do now and how organized we are. Like we literally work looking at a Google spreadsheet before we started recording, and back then it was like, fuck, we have to record on Wednesdays, everyone available because the show has to come out basically on Monday. And everywhere, I don't even know how we like put that stuff up. We had, there was no way to promote it really. I think we had a website. It just went to iTunes basically, and that's what it was back then. It was just a mess.
I had to code the RSS feed like that. That's how crazy everything has gotten. Now you just sign up for a service and upload an audio file. I had to code everything. It was nuts.
We recorded over Skype, and it was if it was only 3 seconds of delay, it was good. And there was no way we could really like shift everything back because like people are reacting to you at a different time. And like there's tech fuck ups now, but like back then it was just like, how much are you really willing to put up with? Like we don't even have those available anymore because the jokes have probably not aged well, but like also the technology is just not something we want to put our name on. But it was fun because it was just a reason to kind of talk to my brother, who was the other co-host, and George. But again, we wanted to do something for so long. We kept asking each other, like, we should start another podcast. And we just never had an idea that was like worthy enough. And lo and behold, dusted the little bitch off and this still seemed ripe for the picking.
So what got the two of you into music? Like, what instrument did you start with and why?
You want to start this one, Pete?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Crazy.
My dad was a pastor and he played bass at church. So there was always a bass there. And so I was like, I want to be a bass player because guitarists are a dime a dozen. And I was like, I don't want to play guitar, which is weird now because it's like what I mostly play now. But I remember just picking up my dad's bass and I was like, I'm a bass player. That's what I want to do. And they're like, fine, you can you can be a bass player, but you got to take some lessons kind of thing. And I took about, I don't know, 6 to 8 months of guitar lessons. First on like this really old shitty acoustic guitar that made my fingers bleed. And then I got an electric guitar, but I always wanted to do bass. That's why like the only stuff I really know on guitar now is like 90s alternative rock songs. Like my vocabulary sucks. And then I remember my teacher was just like, he in no way said, you're too good, you got to stop, you're a prodigy. I'm not a prodigy by far. I can't even read music. But he was like, you're definitely doing your own thing. I've taught you all I can really teach you, and then you can kind of do your thing. And it was a really good lesson to learn, because it kind of showed me how much I don't know, and there's a ton. So I started taking bass more seriously, and then I jumped to 8-string bass in college. And then I got endorsed by Conklin Guitars in 2012, and I've been with them ever since. And then a couple pedal companies later, a couple audio companies after that. I always feel like I have imposter syndrome. I don't think I'm good enough. I think I'm more of a songwriter than like a player. I can't solo for shit. I don't know. I'm at a weird point right now where I'm playing more acoustic guitar than anything. I'm just taking a step back from bass for a couple months just to kind of like get my bearings and find out what I love about it again. So that's it. I mean, I still love instrumental music. I grew up with bluegrass and Celtic, and now I'm into like film scores. So my goal is to be a film composer. And like directing, George, it's highly sought after, and it's very hard to break into. So
you're too hard on yourself, man.
We've done a few.
Everyone's got imposter syndrome. It's crazy. Well, unless they're a complete narcissist, but
you got to be a narcissist. It's like the only people that are really like quote unquote making it are the people that are like they're just really good online. Like, I don't know if you saw this video recently. There was like a cellist in the New York City subway that got hit with he got assaulted. Did you see this video? He's just playing he's playing some fucking song with like backing tracks or whatever. Like that's a whole other issue. But then there's like this kind of crazy woman behind him that just like walks up behind him, takes his metal water bottle like and just smashes him in the back of the head with it. And my first thought was like, fuck, I wish that happened to us. And because I knew it was going to be viral, and it was, and because of it, he's gotten all these opportunities, and like, good player, but I'm like, I should have been down there then, so I could have got assaulted. And like, that is what years of playing in the subway and like trying to throw so much spaghetti against the wall it's really made me cynical and jaded. I'm just like, why can't somebody assault us?
We've got cameras. I can hit you on the back of the head while you're playing.
Like, the guy's fine.
Yeah,
like,
that's what, yeah.
New York and just
like that could have been a fabricated moment.
Well, like, then it's going to seem like we set it up, all right? And this was purely an organic moment. But like,
well,
I'm not saying
done. This one now, we got to do something different. You know,
I'm not saying it didn't hurt, or I don't feel bad for the guy, because like, we've gotten accosted when we played in the subway. That was the other thing. I played in the subway for years with the Music Under New York program and saw a lot of crazy shit. And yeah, people got in our face. We got attacked one time, and it was like, my first thought then was like, did somebody film this? Because like, I need something to go viral. Like, I think the band's music is great, and I just need that extra little bit of lightning in a bottle luck.
People stealing money out of your hat.
Yeah, that was the closest thing to viral that we got, and it turned into a nightmare. So,
Zach, how about you? Where's your music origins come from?
Also family. Yeah, my dad plays guitar, and my parents both sing, and spent a lot of their early marriage playing together and writing and singing and playing around. Very folksy, kind of John Denver Carpenter's style. So yeah, I was always gravitated towards the guitar because of that. And my brother started playing guitar too. He's 6.5 years older than me. So my dad started teaching me guitar from like the acoustic classical end, and then brother started showing me what he was learning on more of like the rock, metal, grunge end. And it sort of went from there. But I learned everything I could from both of them, and they both were like, I kind of graduated from them basically. And then started taking guitar lessons at Toppers. And then one of my best friends, who is still one of my best friends, who does all of our music videos. I started a band with him, and then we played probably 4 different bands, but it was basically like he and I, and then a rotating cast and different, we would name it a new thing every few years. So it was like DNA was the first one. Death Never Applies. It was very cool.
That is hilariously cheesy.
Right? That was the first one. I think we were 13. And I still have the logo printed awesome. Somewhere.
Wait, DNA, that was your first band? That's what it was called?
Yeah.
George, can you be the judge real quick? Who had the cheesier first band name? Mine was Sweet Apathy.
I am going to go with Sweet Apathy. Yes.
It's cheesier.
I don't think
even knowing that Death Never Applies is the
I think Death Never Applies could probably
DNA
still be a
for.
band name today. I think
that definitely applies. That's you're a more, what are you, fucking Highlander?
Yeah,
Where'd you go?
It never applies. Death never applies. It was awesome. Then Carpe Diem was the next one. That one was definitely and then we realized
Sweet Apathy.
That's hard to look up. Hard to look up too. If you ever had a website.
Yeah.
Did you have a Carpe Diem MySpace page?
I think it was the .biz, right?
Oh, we definitely did. But so did 300 other bands in America.
Yeah.
Like Carpe Diem was so. And then we sort of went a more
right now.
Yeah. I love Celtic music as well, Pete, and grew up on a lot of that. And so we started I kind of got into some briefly, kind of incorporating that into it. And so we came up with the name Flailing Shillelagh, which was impossible to spell. But it was really fun to say.
Disgustingly hard to spell already.
Yeah. It was not a great band name, but it was fun to say and fun to announce.
The Rural Juror.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I find it really interesting that both of you stuck with the instrument that you started with. Because I got into music from family. My parents made us learn how to play the organ. Because for whatever reason, my dad had a big electric organ. That's awesome. Which is actually pretty cool, but gone.
You talking like a Hammond organ, or are you talking like the 4-limb one?
Pump one. It was an electric organ, and then he got the church organist to teach us how to play piano, and I sucked at that and didn't stick with it. Then I got into elementary school, went to violin, which was an incredibly hard instrument, and I don't know why I got stuck with that. And then moved on to saxophone, which I was excited to learn how to play, but still sucked at that. And then taught myself how to play guitar until I took lessons from the same person that Pete took lessons from. So I should be just as good at guitar as Pete.
I didn't even know that.
I suck at guitar as well. So unless you want me to play Jesus Don't Want Me for a Sunbeam, I'm really good at that. But
that was George's claim to fame in high school. He was so proud to show that off, and I didn't have the heart to tell him he was playing it like shit then, and it's probably just never gotten better.
I just sucked at every instrument I've ever played.
I mean, I played saxophone for like a month and didn't like it, and then I took my first piano lesson ever was at some other school that wasn't our school, and my brother had the class before me, and then I went, and then my dad came in 10 minutes into my lesson and grabbed me. He's like, your brother has broken his arm because he fell off the jungle gym outside. We have to go to the hospital. Whoa. And I'll forever blame my brother for fucking up my piano career, because basically 3 weeks later, the teacher's like, he's not having fun, and I was having a lot of fun. And I just and I was having a lot of fun and really enjoying myself, but I didn't know how to speak up for myself. That, she just, I don't know if she just didn't want me or whatever, but I was like, it's only been a couple weeks. Like, let me ease into this. But, talk about late in life stuff. My brother, who I talked about earlier, who does some of our graphic design for the show and runs our Discord, he's taking piano lessons again for the first time. He's 42 years old, and he's like, fuck it, I want to learn that. I want to learn synth, and I'm sending him guitar pedals. Like, he's like, it's never too late to just like pick up some fucking fun hobby like that. So, maybe I'll go back.
It's not too late, Pete. I think you should do it. I'm going to
find that teacher and be like, fuck you, teach me.
For sure. When I started working at the guitar shop, we had all kinds of instruments. So I, between the different people in the band and then just having access to a bunch of instruments when it was slow, I can play a little bit of a lot of instruments. I don't play bass great. I play bass like a guitarist, so not great. But I play some accordion and some banjo and some drums. Little mandolin, penny whistle one time.
Okay.
Yep, just one time. No, wind instruments were always hard for me. It felt that was a whole other thing. I got bagpipes. Somebody brought it in on commission, and I was like, "This is sick. I love bagpipes. They are so hard.
They are, because it's like 4 instruments at the same time. Like, one of my coworkers was like, I got this cool thing. It's like practice bagpipes, and it's like something that plugs into your phone. And I'm like, wait, it's like you're not doing the bag thing, you're not doing the breathing thing, you're just doing the penny whistle thing. So it's not really bagpipes. But I didn't say that because I didn't want to.
But it emulates the sound.
I didn't want to Scott-splain anything to her,
Yes. Apparently it's the same fingering as the recorder.
So, I definitely wanted to do bagpipes, and I'm glad my mom was like, "Oh, we'll get it for you, don't worry." And she kept putting it off, and I'm glad, because it just would have been annoying as shit. I wanted to be different and cool.
Relate to bagpipes.
You still are, don't you worry.
That box right there is a oh geez, I can't even think of the name of it now. I'm blanking out.
French horn.
Accordion. It's an accordion that was imported from Italy. My dad.
Yes.
My dad got it. It was
I remember that
album.
one.
He actually played it.
Oh fuck! I went to a recording studio and played that. Accordions are nothing to fucking sneeze at. There's so many fucking buttons.
Do it at all. It is ridiculously hard to play.
Yeah, that's literally the only instrument I've ever wanted to join my band, You Bred Raptors. I would have loved to have an accordion. I think the music really would have made sense with it. I'm very surprised Fable Cry doesn't have one, because it's so calliope and circusy.
Well, that's my call.
But it's so hard to find somebody.
I'm joining both of your bands.
Okay, that's great.
Oh, actually, we're all booked up. Sorry, bud. If you can play Jesus Don't Want Me for a Sunbeam, you're in. No questions asked.
That's the audition piece, period. Yeah, I played accordion for early Fable Cry quite a bit live when it was just a duo. Because it started off as it was like a folk rock, sort of freak folk, when that was real big. And yeah, played a lot of accordion. We switched around instruments and switched between like a trash drum set and violin, and I didn't play all of these, but these are the instruments we had, and banjo and guitar and accordion and glockenspiel, and it was just like a big pile of we were little scamps with a big pile of instruments, and we'd like switch out throughout the sets. But yeah, then I started writing stuff that I couldn't keep up with accordion. I'm not great at accordion, and it's hard. And it's hard to play in a rock band, and I didn't want, as it expanded and Fable Cry grew into a heavier and a more rock centric band, I wanted to keep playing guitar, and didn't. If somebody had come along and was like, "Hey, I'm an accordion player, can I join your band?" It would have happened for sure. It just
Urkel could play the accordion.
That's so hard though, because like. Once you get a sick ass accordion player in the band, and then they leave 2 years later, you're like, how do I do this? And that's what my curse has been with cellists. Like, I've always wanted a cellist, and we got one, and now it's like literally 50% of the music. So it's just stuck with it. Basically, you like have to if she ever left, I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna start another project because like that's my songwriting.
Here's
part.
what
That's
you
my
do.
Girl.
Here's how you do it.
MIDI, fucking.
You get
drum tracks.
Exactly. It's just you and all pre-recorded. No, so like violin was a huge part of our sound from when it was a duo. Like it was all of the instruments I just mentioned, but it was primarily guitar and violin. Me and my sister. And then we had a violin player who came in when my sister left for many years. And like that was a big part of our sound still. But somewhere along the way, we brought in piano and it was just piano. And then it was like organ sounds, and then it was like synth sounds. And we kind of like expanded what the keyboard would do. And it expanded our sound, and my writing sort of evolved and changed. We currently don't have anyone playing violin, and that like 5 years ago would have seemed unheard of for me.
Yeah.
Like it would not have seemed like Fable Cry. And we still record with violin and strings, and some live shows we'll bring in friends and people to play. And might have a solid violin player again. But anyway, that's what you do is you got to get another instrument that can kind of like fill out a sound or create a third sound. So that the cello's not doing all the weight, but also please keep Tara around forever because
she's lovely and
y'all have never sounded so good.
I want to get her a shirt that says "Hip Scene" with a cello on it because of this episode.
Please do.
Well, I remember we had a cellist that bailed on us like 5 days before tour for some stupid fuck ass reason, and then I actually asked Loren, your bass player. I was like, "Do you want to come on tour with your 12-string bass, learn all the cello parts in 5 days?" And they were totally down. And then they had forgotten that their partner had just broken their leg and literally couldn't walk.
That was then. Whoa.
They said yes. And then like an hour later, they're like, oh, wait. This person is incontinent and can't move out of the bed. No. I am in charge. And luckily we found Tara. Tara was the one that jumped in on that one. But we were definitely, we looked up other violin players. We looked at viola players. And then when nobody was biting, I was like, do I just get a fucking guitar to do this part? And then I was like, before that, I have to at least try the bass stuff because it was actually a fun prospect. Like I was watching Adam Neely's video. He's in a band called Sungazer. I watched his video about his European tour today, and basically they almost missed a flight. They were in Sweden. It doesn't matter, but he said some small part of him was actually hoping that the bags would get lost or rerouted or something, and they'd actually have to play the show like guerrilla. You know, no pedals, no MIDI controllers, no backing track, nothing. Like they just had to play old school, and they're like, this is what we did for like 10 years. And I kind of felt the same way. There was a part of me that was like, oh, let's push ourselves. You know, even in that freak out moment of like, do we have to cancel this tour? You know, nothing else is lining up, but like, could we do this with two bass players? Which was just to cap on the story. Like that's originally what I wanted You Red Rappers to be, was like two bass players and a drummer. And it just never worked out. You know, I was looking for other bass players, and I was like, ooh, I'd rather like a cello here, because I didn't know the ramifications of adding something like a cello to your band. It would have been so much easier to find bass players over the years. But I'm glad I'm here. The music that we've made is beautiful, even if nobody's listening to it.
What is...
It's true. It sucks, man.
That's so real, man. I know. I mean, I love your music and the imposter syndrome. I think I go back and forth. I'm either very confident and very like saying everything with my chest, and I'm very like proud of the band, and I'm proud of everything. And then there are obviously a lot of those moments of feeling like, what the fuck am I doing? And a lot of shoulds, a lot of like, how long have I been doing this? How long? Like,
dude, like, seriously.
Do I not, like, questioning your own seriousness of like, do I not take this seriously enough? I should be further along. And it's like, well, I've done all of this stuff. I clearly take it seriously.
We've done so much.
That's not the issue. It's a lot of the lightning in a bottle, like, luck thing. And also our unwillingness to compromise on our art too. Because we want to love what we create. And
I'm just hoping that you hit it, dude. Like, if you get famous, because like you're way more accessible than we are. Like, just fucking make it happen already, and then take us with you on tour. And then I know our music's good enough that we'll get noticed too. But like, we just need to piggyback off somebody. It's just bullshit.
Well, or whoever does it first.
Whoever does it first, man.
We do just need to piggyback. That's what we're missing. Is
just,
like
none of us have a fucking like uncle that's Rick Springfield or something. It's just horse shit. Nepotism has helped everybody else except our bands in life. It just sucks.
Yeah, we're the only bands that haven't been benefited from nepotism. That's not an exaggeration.
All right.
No, it is. I mean, yeah, it's funny, but well, George, we're a bunch of sad sacks. But what do you like to do? You have other podcasts. You have other interests.
Yes, excite people with your other podcast, George.
No, tell us.
My other show is called Stock Gamblers, and my friend and I, from video production days back when I did it professionally, we have a show where we just pick stocks and try to beat each other, like who could build a better portfolio, kind of a thing. We do some stock news and. Just we're.
Do you actually invest money in
virtual money? So we start with a fake $100,000.
Oh, so this is like fantasy stocks, then, basically, right?
Yeah,
interesting.
So we call ourselves self-proclaimed morons and just try to have fun while picking stocks. But the question I have for you guys, being all into the music. What is your favorite song that you like to rock out to that you are embarrassed to admit? And I'll start.
There's too many.
I'm gonna say Little Bird by Annie
Sounds like George just wants to tell us.
Little Bird by Annie Lennox.
It's not embarrassing.
Oh,
yeah, Annie Lennox is great.
It's not a very guy song.
Dude, you're talking to two queer boys, all right? I don't know what that means, man. We're the ones that said whether Adam was cute, so like half my music is what people would call cheesy or embarrassing.
Gay.
There's because I'm getting into vaporwave stuff too, and I'm like, this is so close to EDM. I don't know how I feel about that, but I love cheesy 80s stuff. I'll literally belt out Steve Winwood songs, and I'm like, is this bad or is this the best song ever written? Because I don't see the line anymore, especially as I'm getting older. And I know how hard it is to get a fucking album made and to write a song. Even watching California Dreams episodes, I'm like somebody put time into fucking writing this, and I'm not going to just shit all over it. There's merit to everything, even if it's silly to some,
really good actually.
I mean, Katy Perry's E.T. What a fucking great song. It's because Max Martin wrote that song, and he wrote most of Christina Aguilera's stuff and Britney Spears stuff. This fucking weird Swedish dude making American music for teenage girls. That song fucking slaps. And it's fun.
Know he did 8K as well.
I put it on my bar mix, and I have this metalhead bartender, and it's weird that he's 10 years younger, and he just loves 80s metal. He's put on Wasp, and I'm like, who are you? You know what year it is, dude? And Katy Perry comes on, or Mika comes on, who I really love. Or Adele. And he's like, why is this on? And I was like, dude, this fucking song kills. It's so good. And also got to remember who my patrons are too. They don't want to hear Wasp, even if I might want to hear Wasp. They want to hear this, and if they're into this, they'll listen to the next song. You have to. It's just like playing on stage. You balance your creativity and your crowd, and you snare them in with something interesting that's bopping up and down, and it's accessible, and then they're going to be willing to listen to something a little weirder.
I don't want to drink to the songs that the bartender wants to work to.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny. When did that happen for you, Pete? That you have you always felt this way about music?
No, I'm the first to admit I I was very much like, if it's popular, it sucks. Literally watched The Godfather for the first time the other day because for so long I was a film snob, and I was like, I just pushed it out. I was like, it's probably overrated. I'm not going to watch it, kind of thing. And as I've gotten older, I've embraced some of this stuff, and I was, I still hate a lot of stuff. Don't get me wrong. Like, there's still music that is like garbage to me because it skirts a lot of the stuff that you should be doing. Like Nickelback was always like the punchline, and I've heard people say like, what's wrong with them? They're just like a rock band and stuff. But I'm still firmly in the fuck Nickelback camp because like they encapsulate and kind of represent everything that's wrong with like shitty butt rock music. So, and I know they don't even play through inside sources. I know they don't even play their instruments on their albums. So like, fuck them. So,
interesting.
But there's also
Nickelback is coming to Hershey this summer. Who do you think they're playing with?
Oh my God!
If you could pair a band
Seether
that would be just like Nickelback,
that's a good guess.
Put it together. Who do you think would play with Nickelback?
Like Three Doors Down or something like that. Like
Three Doors Down is supporting.
You know what's interesting?
It's Creed.
Creed is back.
It is Creed.
Creed is playing with.
Okay,
what?
so listen,
because Creed is on tour, and
this is a hate bill.
Three Doors Down is their opener.
Okay, so
through Nashville.
This is the fucking trilogy of shit.
So they're combining. This is the trilogy. This really is. That's awesome. I used to love Creed, and I still do listen to Creed from time to time.
You said Savage Garden the other week too, and that just blew my fucking mind.
Have you listened to Savage Garden?
No, I haven't. But like, I have never had a strong opinion of them other than like, oh, that '90s song is dumb and cheesy, and I'm a '90s kid, so I hate it. But I'll go back and listen the same way. Like,
and
the guy
Darren Hayes, the singer, his solo stuff is really great. I've talked about this already. You already know this,
but I mean, it's crazy you like Creed. I don't know what to think about that, but
no, Creed was like the first. Human Clay was the first tab book that I.
He was allowed to like him. They were a Christian band.
Exactly. That was part of
shit!
it.
I didn't even think about that.
That was absolutely part of it. Yeah. So I loved them, and I still about once a year to once every 3 years will like spend a day going through their discography and like listen to it. I do that with a lot of bands that I like grew up with that I don't necessarily listen to anymore. Like there are other bands. I got really into Godsmack too when I was like 14 and like they're a band that I have tried to do that.
This free episode is going to lose as many fans as it gained.
I know.
Because of Zach.
I used to do that. I used to go back with them, and I stopped doing it because I'm like, yeah, I don't care. But like Metallica was my favorite band in high school.
That's okay.
I still love Metallica. That's not cringy at all. Like they're a great metal band. They got Huge and Lars and all of the stuff. But like,
it's the whole
they're
package,
a great band.
though.
And I got. I mean, I was like 12, 13 when Monsters Inc. came out. So like. Not Monsters Inc. Sorry, that's great. There goes my metal cred.
What were you trying to say? Monster Magnet? I don't know.
No, is it Monster?
The movie Monsters Inc.
Yeah, I just said Monster.
Oh my God, you mean
some kind of
monster?
They have a song on there called Damage Incorporated. I got them mixed up. Monsters Incorporated. That's amazing. I was also about that age when Monsters Inc. came out by Pixar, and I love that movie.
Okay, that's so funny. And I just want to cap all this off by saying the first time I ever did 69 was while watching Monsters Inc. in my basement.
Whoa. No, that's amazing. What?
All right, I'm glad your mom has access to this free episode. So hi mom.
So now I cannot sexually perform without John Goodman and/or Billy Crystal somewhere being listened to. So
that's where it came from.
That's right, ladies.
Okay, now
and gents line up. Well, it was really nice getting to talk to you both and breaking this format up against a little bit. And I don't know, I'm looking forward to way more of this. So I want to thank all the patrons for sticking around and all the new people who might be hearing this for the first time. We definitely usually talk more about the episode and stuff that pertains to it, but it's the end of the season. We want to do something special for y'all. So again, we're going to see you on May 22nd for season 2, but we're going to be back next week with some really awesome interviews from this season. Another cool side project episode with the show Gem. So we're going to put out a lot of information about what you can hear next and watch next to kind of follow along with us.
Thank you, everyone. Been a real pleasure. Glad you got to know us for a little bit. Again, please support the show, patreon.com, and follow everything we do at surfdudeswithattitude.com, and we'll talk to you next season, May 22nd.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh my God, thank you.
This has been a Waning Moon production.